didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Policy scholarship. This is the knowledge you can't get in colleges. If you read from the Bible, obey the commandment and know who your mother and father is. Tune in to Sinetta, cause he the protector of the gods. I'm talking about Dr. Benjamin, Yusuf, Yacanan, and John. We got the scale of my art. If he light as a feather, let's go on weigh his heart. I am the shrine of Ptah. If you can say I am, better recognize a god. All I see is pseudos and frauds. Kudos to my dogs. Judo for you frogs. I think it's time to hop off the environment. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough.
Will survive, comedic knowledge on the rise, raising consciousness divine, to the truth we subscribe. Jabari leading the way, Shaka Amos don't play, Sonetta don't open the gates, and up and banging the day. It's a family for the culture, rebuking all you vultures, service environment full of soldiers, unlock your mind, they'll expose you. HOK is the squad, debating the truth is a nod, watch where you step in the part, or they'll tear you apart.
Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. 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 Environment tough. Environment tough. Environment tough. Oh, you didn't know?
Frankie on the trendsetter.
You did it again, man.
General, HOK Field Marshal, now.
Afro Nation.
None of them can bother dance on the top.
Revelation, set the top.
Violate the general. Head up in a blood clot funeral home. Anchor the AK, Jabari got the chrome. Head crevice the how we sending them home. Regina the alley with a Cuban and a galley. Send you back on Nile Valley with a shot in your toe intellectually. How click the link if your scholarship sloppy. Or if you smile make you cry with the truth. No lie, my youth him a really scored on 21 gun salute for commission. Not a brother, a hustle, a move like all I found the black woman not all like Ulls and the Yana for sister freedom. I don't whole panel know what time for Bible thumping the minute them see me come. Revelation set Frankie are the trendsetter. None of them can bother dance on it. None of them can bother dance on it. Them got a podcast but saw better.
Yeah. Coast to coast we be banging. Bringing all this knowledge we be slanging. In the HOK we don't do no entertaining.
The truth, speak the facts.
What the niggas just a layman. Better get on one accord. The future can be yours. Ancestors push you more. We gotta go explore the sciences and math. The future's based on class. You bout to catch my wrath. We turning up this track.
In the dark minds of the light.
The dark heart still fight.
You
We gotta make this right. Talk right now. We learn how to stand up and stand proud. No man down. We fam now. House of the country, my clan now.
Frankie are the trendsetter. None of them can bother dance on it. None of them can bother dance on it. Them got a podcast but saw better.
When I look at you niggas, I see what I'm not. Go take him, a little bit of her, mix it with them, I put them in a pot. You still can't get none like me. It might sound the same, but it's unlikely. One white tee. If I lift it up, then you niggas gonna see where the gun might be. I thought I told ya. Afro Nation, revelation, we some soldiers. Sinetta put this team together, now it's over. We got the weight of the world up on my shoulder. When you get conscious information, hearts turn colder. Now look at these trappers who rapping the same, so stuck in their lane, systemically, chemically. I'm thinking something is wrong with their brain. As long as they paid and flying the chain, I got nothing to say. They in love with the gang. I traded my gang for change, and now that I changed, a few things still say the same.
Frankie are the trendsetter. None of them can bother dance on it. None of them can bother dance on it. Them got a podcast but saw better.
Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Hotep. Namaste. Jambo. Ashe. Shalom, all the greetings of love and light that there are to the darkest minds of the light, especially to the HOK family. Please hit the like. Thank you so much for saying that. Let me see who said that. Somebody came in and said that early on. Who was that? That was my brother, Jason Northcutt. When you show up, please hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and click on the bell. Oh, this is a professional. Thank you, brother. All right, everybody. If you're on the Rise channel, you are on the rise. Reality is simulated existence. If you're here on Sonetter's channel, Sonetter Studios, you are still on the rise. And so either channel you're on, you know, you can go in between channels. That would be great. You know, my channel, the Rise channel, is a part of the HOK network. It's a little smaller. It's a little bit more of a personal feel, but this is the big platform right here. And today we're going to do, how do I say, this is going to be a lot of information sharing. I will add some of my commentary, of course, to not make it completely boring, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to talk to you about the expensive tissue hypothesis. This is a hypothesis that has that I've pretty much been clinging to, I should say, for a good, I'm going to say 6 years. And the reason I want to bring it out, I was showing Angela. Forget it. They said I'm showing my chi-chis, y'all. People love breasts, don't they? I'm going to segue into the expensive tissue hypothesis, because breast milk, nutrition for infants, and prenatal nutrition is very crucial on the brain, on the neurology, right? And there are studies that we're going to show about how that affects the consciousness, ultimately, of individuals. But we're going to take it back to human evolution. That's what I love about this particular hypothesis. It talks about the evolution of the brain and how it relates to human consciousness in a nutshell. I should say in a brain shell, get it, in the skull. Anyway, so peace, H. Millette. Thank you, Sakina. You know I want you to get in here. Bullets Gotti, peace to you. 7, of course. You know, again, I said I'm going to be reading the scientific paper and all the scientific jargon. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to try to get the baseline stuff, show you the graphs. But we will read some articles on expensive tissue. Peace, Moises. Just, we're holding off for, I'm going to be joined by some of the sisters. Everyone's welcome to join. But I'm going to get going while we wait for Doc Too Sweet. Sakina said she's going to join later. Shout out to my sisters, Sakina, Gemini, Doc Too Sweet, who joined me in our Visionaries series. And of course, all the visionaries out there, sisters and brothers, men and women, queens and kings, right? Shout out to all the visionaries. I see you, Ascenta Phoenix, definitely. So it's all love. I see you, Dizali. I see you, Lord Abba. I'm so glad you're here. I want you to listen. Don't get bored. I know it can get a little boring when we're reading scientific papers. That's why I'm not going to try to take too long on it. But let me just give you an idea before I get to this paper. And unlike Pseudo Killigan's Island, if we come across a word that we don't know, y'all, we don't just freestyle it and call it cinnamon toast or name it after an Italian gangster. Demodoro Patizio. Cinnamon toastinary. We don't do that. We stop on the brakes and we go to the dictionary and we look up the meaning and we get the pronunciation. Yay! We learned a new word. or two. So remember, we're going to do that over here. You're in the house of consciousness. So not remember, be aware. So let me show you just an article before I get to all of the technical, the paper on its expensive tissue hypothesis. Let's just look at a basic article on, let me find it. It's just a real simple article. I had it. Let's see. Scholars revisit her theory explaining evolution. See, okay. So I'm going to try, even though I'm very biased to the expensive tissue hypothesis, this information that I'm grabbing, I haven't even read the article. I just skimmed the first of it. I haven't read it. A lot of people, a lot of scholars and scientists, they have pushed back against this hypothesis. So we may encounter some information. Peace, H. Millett. We may encounter some information that refutes the hypothesis and goes against it. So we're going to get both sides, maybe not. So let's see it. Let's do it. Oh, I see the brother said dots. Yeah, let me show you Daughters of the Sea before I get going, since you mentioned dots. We have, I just had it up when I was coming in. We have a presentation coming up. Oh, not that one. We had this one today. Shout out to the sister, honey. She did her thing. The sisters are coming through and, putting the information out there. I don't have to agree with it. They don't have to agree with agree with what they're putting out. They don't have to agree with my information, but I'd love to see every day, because we have the brothers holding it down for years. We already know that. But the women are coming in and they're putting their information out. So this is a presentation that will be coming up from Sister Dots and Dulcinea. Lies my teacher told me, myths about the slave trade. Uh-oh. Well, shout out to sisters. You know how I feel about the slave trade, if you know me. But like I said, shout out. So the brother was just shouting out dots. Now, let's see. Here is wisdom. All right. So explain expensive tissue. Thank you, Moises. We're definitely going to do that right now. Let me grab this article and I'll share it and we'll just start reading it. This is real chill. This isn't, if you want to come up in here and they're too scared to come in, and maybe they don't have a raft or, a boat to get from the island. So most people who really want to come against stuff that I present would be Pseudo Killigan's Island. But I doubt if they'll come in and hit the link. But anyone who wants to come in and represent and say, you know what, Nepal, no, eating meat doesn't increase brain size. One second. Just heard some stuff going on and okay, so what I'm saying is, if you want to come in and you don't believe that meat or eating meat or changing nutrition had anything to do with consciousness and the brain, you're more than happy to come in. You will get respect. I won't do the whole toughest environment on you. You give me the energy of respect, I return the energy. I would love to have somebody come in and just, you don't have to echo chamber me. I always had a problem with people who think humans are herbivores. Look at my brother in here, Dizali. Come on in, Dizali. I might like a little bit of echo chamber. But anyway, Sakina, you can hit the link anytime you like, my friend, my sister. All right. So, no, I didn't run away from it. I just got to stay focused. So without further ado, I don't want to lose you. Let me go ahead and share this article. This might even be a blog. No, it's the Harvard Gazette. All right. So what is the expensive tissue hypothesis? What is it? We're talking about human evolution. We're talking about the evolution of human intelligence and consciousness. This is very exciting. I just heard the sister enter. Peace to my fellow visionary, beautiful as ever. And so I'm going to read this article. You can jump in anytime you like. Just say, hold on, Nepal, I want to add or something like that, okay? So thank you for being here. I love you for coming in and showing me some support. All right. And thank you to everybody for showing me support. Okay, now get to it. Scholars revisit her theory because we're talking about the Dr. Aiello. She and another doctor came up with this hypothesis, as I said, that, well, maybe I didn't. Eating meat caused the brain to increase in size by 60% and the gut to decrease in size by approximately the same number. So not just meat, but the base is about meat. That was a large part of the change in the diet of early humans. So we can get to the study. You want to say anything before I start reading this?
Okay, I'm gonna add that could be due to salt.
Okay, she said salt, sodium. Well, let's look at let's look at the information,
Okay.
and then you can give me your assessment as we go. So let's look at this here. Okay, so if you can see it, okay, I blew it up. Let me blow it up a little more. All right, Scholar revisits her theory. So this is about Aiello, explaining evolution of early primates into humans. Behind glass cases, Harvard's Peabody Museum of Archaeology displays ancient tools, weapons, clothing, and art, enough to jar you back into the past. But the venerable museum offered a jarring moment of another sort of in its geological lecture hall last month. Paleoanthropologists, so they study ancient people, paleoanthropologist Leslie Aiello delivered a late afternoon talk on diet, energy, and evolution. It was jolting to see her slight and matronly, because she's an older lady now. She was born in 1946. It was jolting to see her, slight and matronly, stand before a story-high screen filled with images of rugged early hominids on a savanna gathered around fallen game. See, we're talking about the meat, right? Then again, Aiello, as one of her admirers put it, is the alpha female among anthropologists who make a study of human origins. She co-wrote the widely used text, quote, An Introduction to Human Evolutionary Anatomy, unquote, based on the idea that the fossil record offers clues to how early hominids looked, moved, and even ate. Aiello, a professor for 3 decades at the University College London, and now president of the Manhattan-based Werner Gren Foundation for Anthropological Research, was in Cambridge to deliver the 2008 George Peabody Founders Lecture. Introducing Aiello was Daniel E. Lieberman, a professor of biological anthropology at Harvard and a proponent of the idea that upright walking and long-distance endurance running set early humans on their novel evolutionary path. He held up a well-thumbed copy of Aiello's book and said, quote, Her CV is so long, it's hard to know where to start, unquote. But 2 seminal ideas stand out, said Lieberman. One is that in evolutionary terms, big human brains with enormous energy requirements are inversely proportional to gut size. So you see, he's saying what we do know is that the evolution of the human brain made the brain bigger, and there's a lot of energy that the brain needs, right? Enormous energy requirements that had to come from somewhere, right? It had to trade out with the gut. That's in the nutshell of what he's saying. So this idea, called the expensive tissue hypothesis, ETH, in Aiello's co-authored 1992 paper, argues that around 1.5 million years ago, early humans began to eat more meat, a compact, high-energy source of calories that does not require a large intestinal system. A second seminal idea posited by Aiello and another colleague is that increased brain size meant higher reproductive costs for females who, over time, compensated in part by increasing in size at a greater rate than males of the genus Homo. Homo erectus females had a 64% larger body mass than earlier hominids. That's a really interesting piece right there if you want to hold on to that. Males of the species, though still larger than females, were larger than their earlier male counterparts by only 45%. So the women who were the reproductive houses, right, the bodies that carried the human, their bodies, their entire body percentage increased by 64%. So it says females had a 64% larger body mass than earlier hominids, meaning earlier female hominids. I'm just taking that, right? I think maybe, let me keep reading. Males of the species, though still larger than females, were larger than the earlier male counterparts by only 45%. So let me ask you, am I interpreting that it's saying, maybe it's saying they were 64% larger than both male and female hominids earlier than them, but the male increased by 45%. I don't know. I'm kind of off on that. So just put a pin in that and somebody comment. So far I'll hold off and let you come in if you want to say something, Sakina.
Okay, so what I'm gathering so far is the big head hunters and small guts. But for this meat situation, right? The only thing I'm gathering at this point is this this meat source, right, is either from the ones that eat off of vegetables and whatnot, because this is fish, and this is like rabbits and this kind of meat, whatever it is. It's not even deers. It's not even I can't even say it's lambs. So whatever it is these animals eat grass and whatever the harvest is, whatever. So whatever this meat consumption is, it's not enough to, it's only producing energy, but I don't understand what's making the head swell.
The brain grew because the trade-off with the meat and how it was easier to digest meat. There is a myth, and I think you are a vegan, but there's this myth that it takes more energy to digest meat. And that's one reason why I love this hypothesis as well. It shows that it actually does not take more energy to digest meat in the gut than it does for foliage and roughage and more fibrous foods like, plants and I'm going to say not so much seeds, but plants like leafy greens and things like that.
Okay, because I'm not seeing this animal that's going to make this brain swell like that yet.
Is there an animal that's going to make the brain swell, you said?
Okay, because what you're saying, again, I'm not following along with.
Okay, no, I'm here. What's going on? Let me work with
the only meat that I know that would take the longest for you to pass through the bowels or what have you is beef. And I don't know a meat yet that would do that to the brain at this point. And so
yeah, well, that's the study. There's
right.
meat
haven't got to that point
the brains.
Right? Because you talking about bush meat and things of this nature at this point, anciently. And so this would only be rabbit and maybe
to be honest, we can't focus too much on the type. I mean, we know that early humans were hunting large animals. We know that they hunted large mammals like woolly mammoths, or maybe even different types of large animals.
Woolly mammoth.
I do know that much. So, but the main thing is that it was meat. Meat that I wouldn't be able to say like the modern animals, like modern game, but it was flesh, it was tissue. So,
well, they eat camel right now. So let me take that back, because you can't even refrigerate a camel, but they eat camel like never before. And so, but again, there was no seasonings for this meat, but there was herbs. So I'm not understanding it. Let's keep reading, because I can't see.
Okay. No, let's keep going. No, your input is great. So in her lecture, I believe that's where I am. In her lecture, Aiello revisited the expensive tissue hypothesis to see how scientifically robust an idea it was after more than 15 years of academic scrutiny. Again, remember, she got a lot of pushback. It wasn't just like everybody's like, "Oh, great job." Some people were. It was, some scholars accept it, others still kick against it. So the idea is still viable, she said, but in an era of better testing technology and accelerating scholarship on human origins, expensive tissue hypothesis has theoretical competitors explaining the evolution of bigger brain size. So, this was from 1992, and other research and more information has come forth to hypothesize why our brains increased in size. Other information besides that. I wouldn't rule out the other hypotheses, but definitely we know today that eating a diet in high protein is very, very much beneficial to developing brains. So I just want to add that. So for one, some scientists say that walking upright, bipedalism, is the most important way to support a larger brain size. Upright hunters and gatherers were more efficient than their quadrupedal counterparts. Others say that the key to supporting big brains is the smaller muscle mass of hominids compared to apes. And still other scientists have pointed out that the ETH doesn't hold true for all animals, including birds and bats. Now, bats aren't considered mammals, but I don't know, maybe there's something to do with, because they are aerial, because they do take flight. There's a difference that in that particular type of animal, those two. Peace, Doc Too Sweet. I'm glad you could join us.
Peace, Doc Too Sweet. Okay, hey. I have a question too when you finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because bats are rats with wings, right? So
I don't think so.
Okay, well, to me, I thought bats were rats with wings. One, that's what it made.
Oh, I thought you were being funny.
No, so that's what. Yeah, so that's what it made them mammals, right? Two, I'm talking about with the swelling of the brain, with this aneurysm thingy, right? And you
with the what?
Well, let's scratch the aneurysm, but I'm saying when you have to walk with your head upright because you're saying you got a heavy brain or a big head, this goes into this. It makes me think of this Hunchback of Notre Dame, low calcium or low something or another, because if you got a big head, you got to hold your head upright. But if you don't have enough of a protein or something, and you walk with your head down because there's something missing from calcium or something in the sun to give you, then you have this thing in your neck, and it makes you have to hold your head down. So that story of the Hunchback Notre Dame was true because of a deficiency of iron or vitamin D. And that's not saying that you had a big head or a big brain. It was a deficiency in iron. So I'm not sure if we're connecting this with that, or because this is what it sounds like now. And maybe that's just me, but we used to make jokes about kids with big foreheads and big heads and saying, hold your head up and when you walk so you don't stumble and fall, and because it made it bad on your neck. But that vitamin deficiency is real, especially you see it in elders, because that hunch comes right above the back of your neck on your back. And so that's a vitamin deficiency. So I'm gonna let you finish on, but I'm trying to get this big head thing together.
No, yes, more than just the head. Of course, the brain is encased in the skull and the head, but it is more focused on the size of the brain. So yes, I get what you're saying. It is an increase in size of the brain. So I just want to be specific. Did you want to say anything before I continue reading this article, Dr. Sweet?
No, you can continue. I know I kind of interrupted. I was having some technical difficulties, but I think that this hypothesis, where this theory that you're talking about, is very important in terms of understanding how humans, got to where we are today as far as Homo sapiens and our brain size and our intelligence and all of that stuff. So please continue.
Yes, thank you. And anybody, the link is in there. Y'all can come in I see some people up in there. Well, I see some people in the chat saying, they disagree, and that's great. Remember, we want you to come in and share, just like my sister Sakina. She's just checking it out, asking questions. She's not fully on board with it, but this is why I wanted to present it, because tomorrow we're going to go into some more things. Really, our baseline for me is always going to be consciousness. Consciousness is everything, and it encapsulates. It covers all intelligence, all learning. So this is really, I'm just sharing this information because it's linking back to consciousness. Yes. Anybody? What were you going to say? Oh, okay. All right. So the link is pinned. Thank you to the mods and everybody. I see you. Let's get this done here. Okay. I see the sister Honey Clark join. Peace, Honey Clark. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the panel and to everybody? Because this is the first time you came in our Visionaries. We do a little Visionaries series. So can you hear me okay? You're muted. You're muted, honey. Can she hear us? She can't hear us. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. We can't hear you.
You gotta come out and come back in, probably.
Okay, you can go out. We can't hear you. Oh,
okay, I'm here now.
There you go.
I was like, I can't hear. I can see you, but I'm like, it was so quiet.
Thank you for joining. Do you want to introduce yourself to the panel and to the audience? Thank you for joining our Visionary series.
Hey, I'm Honey Clark from the Bar Reloaded. That's it, really. This is interesting. This is my first time I've ever seen a study on it, so I did look it up after you said it earlier, so I can have a little bit to know what we're talking about.
Okay, well, this is Sakina. We have our sister Sakina
Raw.
Raw.
Nice to meet you.
And I think you are familiar with Dr. Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
We got her on. We tried. I know we haven't done our series. This is actually our second. We are missing Gemini. I feel like we needed her, but I really wanted to let people. Yeah, we're going to be doing our show tomorrow too. But I just wanted to let everybody know, anybody can come in. Just let us get the information out. And then if you want to add to it, definitely add. All right. So with that said, let me finish reading this paper. I know y'all don't want to lose the audience. Stay with us. Do not get bored. I'm almost done. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the actual paper. Peace, Benita. Give me a second. Okay. So Where was I? Where was I, y'all? I was on Aiello saying the brain. Hold on. Brain size.
Hold when you walk or something to that.
Oh, yeah, upright. So she said, we're much further along in understanding energy trade-offs, the evolution than 15 years ago. For whatever reason, she said, encephalization, the tendency of some species to evolve larger brains, is the third stage that led humans to civilization. One earlier stage is bipedalism. The oldest is terrestriality, movement, which is the movement of early hominids from canopied forests. So they basically came down out of the trees and started to walk around on the ground, in a nutshell. Rich in lower calorie foods to savannas where small game, here it is right here, Sakina, what you're talking about. Small game, carrion, and insect supplemented a plant-based diet. So they were getting some protein, but it wasn't on the level of the larger game protein and the bigger, the larger amount of meat. And so it might have been portion, right? So around 1.5 million years ago, there was quote a lot going on in evolutionary terms, says Aiello. Hominid habitat change, along with the size of early human craniums larger and jaws smaller. But growing brain size presented a metabolic problem. A gram of brain tissue takes 20 times more energy to grow and maintain than a gram of tissue from the kidney, heart, or liver. She said, gut tissue is metabolically expensive too. So not only is the brain tissue expensive, gut tissue is expensive too. So as brains grew, gut sizes shrank. So let me just check in with everybody. So I'll go to Doc Too Sweet. So you get peace to my sister Benita. You get it that, and everybody else can jump in, but I'm going to ask you. So basically, everything needs the energy, but the organs started to, conform to actually fit the type of energy that the body could actually expend. Is that like it's called, what is it? The basal metabolic rate? Like right. So the gut needs, it's not that the gut doesn't need the energy anymore. The gut reduced those visceral organs reduced in size so they can, so the body could still, compensate for the energy, but most of the energy, the brain increased because most of the energy, most of the tissue in the brain, y'all, I'm going all over. At first it was smooth and then like my string started twisted all around. Okay. The brain gets the most energy, but it doesn't mean that the liver and the visceral organs don't also need energy. They're not just there and we don't need them. Does that make sense? Right. You want to jump in? Doc Too Sweet, and then anybody, I want to hand it over.
Well, because I know I came in kind of late, so I don't know like how far you were able to delve into it, but it's a pretty simple.
I'm just reading this right here, this article. I didn't get to the actual paper yet.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty simple hypothesis, if you ask me. It's basically just saying that in order for humans to have developed the larger brains that we have, we had to, in a sense, make a sacrifice to where your brain uses so much metabolic power that it was like an exchange of like, okay, we're going to send all this energy to the brain and the other organs are going to get less energy. And to me, I know it's just a hypothesis, but it kind of makes sense because humans are the only species really to use our brains in the way that we do. Like there's other hominids that do use their brain as well. But as far as capacity to build civilizations, create languages, and propagate life and all of these things, for me, the hypothesis makes a lot of sense. There's always some type of exchange. Like for instance, in the evolutionary timeline, a lot of people have begun to lose the need for an appendix. So you have people who end up having to get their appendix taken out. And that could also be a part of the explicit tissue hypothesis, because it's like we have all this energy for other things that these, what are they called? Vestigial organs are becoming less necessary. So it all makes sense if you ask me, as far as the evolution is concerned, or the adaptation that humans have come to live by.
Right. Thank you for that. Very, very, very great point about the appendix and the spleen. It's not that we don't need those, but evolution.
They're
We're talking
becoming
about.
less useful. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Did I talk over you?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't. If I did, I didn't mean to. I was just saying those other organs are becoming less useful, and so all the power is going, or the energy is going towards the brain.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go on to Honey. Did you want to add anything to what she said, or comment so far what we read, and then I'll get to Sakina?
Well, not really. I mean, it was kind of self-explanatory, but I think it's just trying to explain how it affected our brain, right? So just like now you take probiotics, you take stuff like that to help your gut health, right? And so your gut health helps the rest of your body's health. And so like I get that it's when it's saying it's expensive, that's the part that I was like trying to wrap my head around, but I think it's just saying like it takes a lot. So
yeah, the trade-off.
Yeah, we take less from here, more up here. We get to do more, have a better intellect.
Right. And I'm going to move back on to, thank you, Honey. So the gut is not unimportant. In fact, I think I haven't really picked, no pun intended, picked Honey's brain, but I know the other sisters on here, we agree that there is not just one mind or one, how do you say, there's three. Yes. The head, the chest, which is the heart, and then we have the gut. So it's, again, I like to reiterate, it's not that those organs are not as important, but as you added, Doc Too Sweet, we've evolved. We are the master species. We are the master species in of Earthlings. So
and it's an interesting point, really quick, because I don't know if you mentioned it, is that part of this hypothesis is that we actually use more brain power and our brain processes at a higher metabolic rate when we're at rest, which is sort of a paradox, because you would think you're using more brain power while you're engaged or learning or doing something, but it's actually when we're at rest that our brain is using the most energy.
Oh yeah, definitely. We need to get to that about the brain working when
good point.
The rest of the body's resting.
And good point. Who Dogon Nogo or Dogon? He got it backwards. Whatever. That's a very good point, because a lot of people do get the two mixed up, where the brain is the physical, tangible organ, and the mind is the intangible, the one that we can't see or touch or taste or smell, right? So good point.
Right. I just want to ask Sakina, and first, Sakina, you're going to go. I just want to ask you quickly, Honey, where are you at when you talk about consciousness? Do you subscribe to the teachings that consciousness is only in the brain, or what's your take on it? If you have any type of either way you go, is there something that you say about consciousness that it's only in the brain, or do you think it's outside? Like there's a
outside? Oh no, I do think it's outside too. I don't think it's only in the brain. I think it's all around us, and I think it's interconnected too.
Perfect. Because not that would have been, but I know that most of us, I'm gonna be real though. I said perfect because don't come for me, everybody out there. But it seems like when people only see consciousness in the brain, they have such a limited view of science itself. I'm talking about hard science, academic science. They don't really look at the cutting edge hard science. So that is good to hear. Not that it would make me think, oh, I'm a jump, let's jumper, y'all. But I'm just trying to find out. So that's awesome. Because we got the pseudo Killigans out there trying to convince the world that consciousness is only in the brain. Thank you so much for answering that, honey. Thank you, Dog Too Sweet. We're going to move on to my sister, the Queen, Sakina Ra. Sakina, you want to add in? I'm sorry it took so long to get to you.
Okay, so with the useful organs, the only thing different I want to say is because I remember when everybody had things like tonsils, and we still have them. And at one point they were saying that the tonsils were not useful. And so when people was having, they would tell you, like my little brother, they said, when you had a sore throat after one or two times, they say they would have to take them out because the tonsils weren't useful. Right. And then they said you wouldn't have no more sore throats or anything. And then they started pulling everybody's tonsils out with the same thing. And then find out that the tonsils were useful. And they still got sore throats after that. So this useful and unuseful organ doesn't make sense. You see?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you had things like jaundice, and babies are born with jaundice. And then you could find out that you could get rid of that because you were born with jaundice or yellow jaundice, you could cure that. But drinking jaundice was something either you couldn't turn around, So when we say useful and unuseful, what burns energy and what you can replace with and get it back, right? Those unuseful energies and whatnot, I'm heavy set. So things that I could replace that with and go to the gym to get that energy and burn it back to make those unuseful useful. Again, it would be in the sources of the food. So when we ask that question about the rabbits and the bush meats and whatnot, and then we find out it is those sources again. So these are useful and unuseful things, right? So we have to think smarter and not harder, right? So
and
we just here together, sister, because I'm learning from you too. I got to get your number and information, but it's only questions for me right at this point. I'm not going against you. It's just a question I'm asking. So don't take it away, okay?
No, we're good. Go ahead. Like she said, we're not an echo chamber. We're not going to always agree.
Right. And I was going to say too, Sakina, you have to think in terms of like all of this is what's the word I'm looking for? Like these processes take thousands of years, right? So in our lifetime, we're not gonna see an organ that becomes completely obsolete or unuseful, right? It could take thousands of years for that to happen down the line, like the way that we lost our vestigial tail, but we still have the coccyx, which is evidence of the tail. If this hypothesis is correct, what they're going to find, years from now down the evolutionary timeline is, maybe the tonsils do become completely obsolete, or maybe the appendix, maybe there'll be people who are born without an appendix, So I think it's just a matter of we can't see it in our lifetime, so it's hard to conceptualize for a lot of people. But when you think in terms of the body and its need to remain in a state of homeostasis, which is just balance, the expensive tissue hypothesis kind of starts to hold more weight, because if you're gaining in one area, the assumption is that you're going to lose in another area. Like something has to give to keep that balance.
And I agree with that, but just like when you say the tail, just because we don't have a tail, but we still have a tailbone. That's evolution, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's tomato on that one, right?
Yeah.
All right. And so we're going to end with that. Go ahead, Simone.
Okay, let's try to. I appreciate everybody being here. Shout out to Mel for the super chat. Thank you so much. So what you talking about? Looking the pot growing. I've been doing this for some time, but I love you, Blackologists. Don't do that. They always try to say because I believe in a higher power.
But the two, they're not mutually exclusive. There's a lot of scientists who have some beliefs who would be considered religious and vice versa. So they don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Yes. Thank you. We're going to get, and honey, you're muted. Anybody can, if you want to jump in, I'll stop reading. Just jump in, make your comments. Let's flow. We're doing great. I love it. So nobody hold back up here because your minds are very, very important to the build. No pun intended. Y'all see how
she keep doing it.
Okay. So let's get back to this paper, and then I want to read some other articles. I was going to go straight to the actual scientific paper, but I know some people dread that. Not the panel, but I don't want to lose the audience. So let me finish this. So she says, it's likely, I said, that meat eating made it possible for humans to evolve a larger brain size. Okay, we got that. Early human ancestors probably consumed more animal foods, termites and small mammals, than the 2% of the carnivorous caloric intake associated with chimpanzees. The social implications of increased meat eating were interesting, said Aiello. In most primates, there's no food sharing between female and offspring, she said. But the difficulty of getting meat led to cooperative food sharing among early humans. This is so, oh my gosh. This whole part right here, I'm getting goosebumps. There's so much. I want to talk about so much of this. Okay, so let me get back to that. The difficulty of getting meat led to cooperative food sharing among early humans, strengthening bonds between female and her offspring. They can call me a feminist if they want to. Look at the crucial part of the female and child relationship. So a child could be male, but look at the crucial part of the mothering in our actual evolution of our brains and our consciousness. Is that not giving you guys anybody getting goosebumps off that? Because I got a lot to say, but I'm just going to put the mic out there and anybody grab it if they want to. That was good for me. Anybody else?
That was great.
Well, I think that's interesting because a part of human evolution is how we learn to work together. We learn to build civilizations. We learn to, group together to protect ourselves against others. So that little tidbit right there, it just kind of substantiates the idea that humans need community. Like if we say now, like it takes a village, but I think in those terms, like the ancient terms, it was pretty much the same thing. We needed community. We needed others to survive, and that kind of substantiates it.
Awesome. And you know what? Now it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? For me, the eating the better diets, which was a base of meat, made them start to say, okay, they're even more conscious, more empathic, and more understanding that we need each other. This is a symbiotic relationship that we have in our communities. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Socio-ecological bonds, right? Is that like the environment tied to the environment of the organism tied to how they interact? Let me move on to the sister, honey, and let me talk to Keon. Keon, you can turn on your camera or not? Yeah. You getting your hair braided or what?
Yeah, actually, I hold on. Wait a minute. I got it done.
There you go.
What's up with you?
Getting your hair braided.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to honey, and then we'll move to Keon. You just joined, and then we'll take it back to the sister. I like to always let the queen come in, or anybody jump in. But I'm saying Sakina, anybody jump in. But go ahead, honey. I think you were gonna say something.
Oh yeah, I mean, it kind of is like what makes us human, right? The way that we take care of others, right? We think about something other than ourselves, right? We deem that as human more than animalistic, right? So like just the fact of not eating meat, and we have to be able to break this down and give it to our young and think about somebody else for a longer period of time than just breastfeeding, right? Past that, it's way longer because now we have to break it down for them. We have to give it to them. We have to make sure that they are together. It also gives us like roles where, you know, the men might go get the meat because it's harder, and then the women are able to break it down and cook it, and then also be able to take care of the young. So it gives us that community, and it started to be what kind of makes us human. It gives us a reason to even have a bigger brain in a different thought process too.
Right. It did make us. That's the thing about the expensive tissue hypothesis. I always do this. I said I was going to be doing too much of my commentary. Once we ate the meat, we started to evolve so much in our consciousness that it made us the humans that we recognize we are today, as opposed to before we didn't interact in that way. So let me ask you, Keon, thank you for joining. Thank you for adding that, honey. Go ahead, Keon. What do you think about the entire hypothesis and what we've just been speaking about?
So to be fair, I just came in, so I was really just going to listen for a second. But I guess I can ask some questions. So is this? I'm assuming this has to do with something about eating meat. I done heard that a couple of times. So
yes, not just eating meat, but the evolution of the human brain and ultimately human consciousness. I turned my camera off. The evolution of the human brain and human consciousness.
Okay.
After we ate.
I was trying to show this book. I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but it's called The Fruit, the Tree, and the Serpent, and it talks about evolution, and it points out how the hominids that were our ancestors would get bit by snakes, which would cause them to understand that some of these bites were deadly. But you know, they had to learn how to basically have a defense against the snakes. But what it did was it pushed along the evolution of hominids by causing us to be able to see better, because they started to have to look out for snakes, and they have to look out for different dangers and stuff. So that is another that's another bit of evidence showing how evolution can kind of be random in a sense, to where it's about adaptation. Like, what is the best adaptation for your environment? And for us as humans, for us to have developed a larger brain, it caused us to live differently from like other species, and to further separate ourselves from, you know, those other species.
Thank you for adding that. What's the name of the book again?
It's called The Fruit, the Tree, and the Serpent by Lynn Isbell. And you can pick it up. But The Fruit, the Tree, and the Serpent.
Wow, interesting. I like that title. Because Keon knows that Jesus is the serpent in the garden. So now I'm not trying to take this.
Hey, let's not go there.
I know, because if it was Sonetta, we go straight into talking about the Bible. Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick? So is it like also a theory that, like, if we were just not carnivores, but what's the thing for vegetables, for people that just herbivores, right? If we were just herbivores, we would have like evolved in a different kind of way.
Yes.
Like, okay, I can see that.
Well, because look at the brain size of our nearest cousins, like the chimpanzees. I think their brains are like a fourth our size or something like that.
I gotta give you the bomb. You know why? Because you took the words away. I'm slow with the bomb. Hold on. Exactly. And Keon, hold on. I gotta get to Sakina if you're still there, Queen. See, that is why when people say, well, why did they looking like that? They had a different type of environment, these
Different adaptations.
right ecologically they evolve differently. We
Right.
decided to jump on down out of the trees and pick up some spears. I'm just saying, and it being making it basic. And they're like, no, we're good up here with the leaves and the branches and some fruit here and there and maybe a cricket. Y'all going? I'm serious though. This is basically what the hypothesis covers when we read Ayalo's work and her co-authors. So you were saying?
Yeah, I was about to say, but isn't I mean, wouldn't our ape brothers and sisters, I guess if you want to call them, aren't they're both, right? They're carnivores and herbivores, right?
They don't cook their meat. It's from cooking.
Right.
I mean, but they still eat. They will eat. They will eat meat though.
But it's from cooked meat. We cooked it.
Yeah, but
that's what made it kind of different.
Well, I'm gonna put a pin in that one, honey. You and I might have a little face off there. Because actually, cooking the meat is what makes it longer to digest. And they did cook their meat. I'm not saying they didn't. And I'm not saying meat. It still holds true to the expensive tissue hypothesis. But early in the beginning, the meat was not cooked. They just started eating the meat. And what really was the issue from what I see, now this isn't set in stone. Remember, this is a lot of people are examining this, trying to refute it, coming out with new information. But for me, it does matter the type of meat they were eating, not completely, but there's a substantial amount of information showing that the larger portions, the animals that they were eating, they had more access to more protein. Now, you can fight me on that, but I wanted to say with Keon, I forgot that you also say that we are not apes. So
here we go.
Chimpanzees don't eat as much meat as we do as humans. I'm talking about early hominids. We're not talking about our sister Sakina Ra, who's a vegan, compared to Bobo or Oliver, the human chimp. I'm talking about early hominids. They weren't hunting. They didn't come down. This is hypothetical. Some of them didn't come down out of trees. How much big game are they going to get up in the tree? They're going to become game for predators. So that's the issue. The cooking part though, honey, I will say this. We protected ourselves from a lot of bloodborne illnesses and things that we could, viruses, bacteria. Obviously cooking your meat protects you.
Says that cooking meat it's a more nutritious diet, and it provides the extra energy needed for brain to grow larger and more complex. It also allows for smaller jaws and teeth.
Where are you getting this from?
More space.
Are you reading?
I'm reading. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the source because you're getting a little ahead of yourself. But let me see the source. Let me take this down because
I'll put it.
I did not expect to start debating somebody, but
no, I wasn't debating. I was just telling you.
No. I'm saying for me, I stand very strongly on the meat diet, but in the beginning with the expensive tissue hypothesis, they weren't exactly cooking the meat. But I do want to see your source, so we can.
No, they were saying that the cooking helped with the brain thing because it allowed for smaller jaws and teeth. So it allowed for the room in the skull.
Right. The cooking didn't have anything to do with that so much, though, because the meat, the texture of the meat. If you look at the mouth, some people don't realize, I'm not saying some, and I'm not patronizing anyone in the world, but the mouth is connected to the digestive system. And so when the meat, just like the gut, when the meat was eaten, the raw meat was softer than meat. But still the mouth, the chewing meat in evolution, the meat is always, whether cooked or raw, I'm going to say it again, whether cooked or raw, it applies to the expensive tissue hypothesis. So there's really no huge distinction. There is information on that. I'm not saying it's not, but in the basic part of it, the jaw decreased in size because of the actual texture of the meat. Correct or no? Can we see your short?
No, I was reading what he said about something about it rotting, and I was like, oh.
Oh, somebody said that in the chat. That's not
the source. I put the source in the chat.
Yeah, I believe this source is for.
You can screen share it.
Okay.
Right, because I believe this source is for like a parade or something to like people that jaws have been broke, or for elders, because this is how they do this for those type of meals, for people that have to have trachea foods or jaws that been broke, or for people with those kind of cares because of those reasons.
Okay, yeah, pureeing the meat. Okay, so you wanna can everybody see it? You want to read it?
Yeah, you want to read the whole article? I can.
No, just
the
share
parts?
whatever information you have there, and we can add it to the information that we have.
So right here on this thing, it says all known human societies eat cooked foods, and biologists generally agree cooking could have had major effects on how the human body evolved. For example, cooked foods tend to be softer than raw ones, so humans can eat them with smaller teeth and weaker jaws. Cooking also increases the energy they can get from the food they eat. Starchy potatoes and other tubers eaten by people across the world are barely digestible when raw. Moreover, when humans try to eat more like chimpanzees and other primates, we cannot extract enough calories to live healthily. Up to 50% of women who exclusively eat raw foods develop amenorrhea, or a lack of menstruation, a sign that the body does not have enough energy to support a pregnancy, a big problem from an evolutionary perspective.
Right. This is referring to, if you go back up, this article is mostly referring to vegetation.
Yeah.
Because food is actually softer. And we agree with that, right, everybody, or no? Maybe, wait, take that back. It depends on the cut of the meat, first off. But meat in general, so if you go to get a cut of an animal and you take the leg or the thigh meat, it's going to be a little tougher than the meat in the trunk, like the rib meat, or the what we call nice tender cuts. So for the most part, this is speaking about, yes, cooking meat has advantages, duh. And I'm not saying cooking meat has advantages in our evolution because it's lower disease, less risk of getting an illness. But as far as chewing the meat, and we're talking back about this particular hypothesis, vegetation was harder to chew and digest than meat, raw meat.
However, in this same paragraph or paper, it also says, because you know as well that you have soft diets. And in this soft diet, this would go with that, because you had things of the soft potatoes and you have the corn, or maybe not corn, but you have the softer sides of food, right? And so this is where that falls into that place. So it is about the softer diet or the softer food. And so this falls into that category. So I appreciate that too, because you have to think about that side.
Right, but you would have to cook potatoes and tubers.
And that's what it said. It said cooking the meat and cooking this to a softer side. And so, again, for those who can't chew in X, Y, and Z. And so even before the parade, like when we have our kids and they get a certain age, we fork our eggs and whatnot so that they could eat them, to pinch them up and whatnot. So that is a softer food, right?
Yeah, they are softer food.
So, and this is what that's saying.
This is about our diet right now.
Exactly.
I'm talking about early hominids,
But isn't that what that said, or am I wrong? It said
No, you're right.
potatoes.
You're both right what it
Okay,
says,
so
but this is about how we've already evolved.
exactly. So it's saying a softer side of food. Basically, the bottom line is what it's saying. It said potato. It also threw in some carrots and whatnot. But the basic foods, the only thing it said was fish. You can't get no softer fish. It didn't say rabbit. It didn't say whatever other meat. It said fish.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was just talking about how the softer foods helped our because the way we eat now, like our jaws and our mouth is not like an animal, right? It's not as tough because we cook our food and we don't eat it raw like that all the time. And it was just, I think it's trying to draw the evolutionary part of when we started cooking our food, our jaws start getting smaller, our mouths, and then our jaws are weaker.
No. I gotta stop. I gotta stop you
That's
guys.
what it said.
No. This is an article that you're pulling. It's saying now that our mouths have evolved, and now that our guts have evolved, that we cook our food and we eat our food and it's softer. But I'm going back. I'm not saying no so much, but I'm saying we're getting too far away from the expensive tissue hypothesis, which you've got to understand this. The reason our jaws are smaller and our guts are smaller, they've decreased in size, is because the food we started to eat was softer. And the food that we started to eat was meat compared to vegetation. So, and it was raw meat. It was raw meat. Yes, we did start. Yes, I get it. Cooking, somebody that knows how to not make a steak tough, they can cook it. We can chew it up
a little bit.
Yeah. So my point that I'm saying is I shouldn't even say no, but I think we're going too far off. This article is not talking about early hominids when they immediately first started, they changed their diet from vegetation to meats. And if you want to keep reading the rest of it, you can, and then I'll get right to the paper so we can get some more information, some clarity.
Yeah, it says what you said right here.
What did it say? You can read. I can't really see it. It's small for me.
Oh, it says fossils show the teeth and digestive tract of Homo erectus decreased in size around the same time brain size increased. This evidence likely means our ancestors started eating softer, high-quality foods, although not necessarily cooked. New archaeological research has also continued to push back the earliest known date for the control of fire, right? So
perfect. So there we're back.
Yeah, it was saying exactly what you. Yeah,
just like that, we got back on track. I'm glad to see that. Okay, and Sakina, I like that she's standing firm. That's why mostly, honey, I had to say because when Sakina is a very, very serious vegetarian, or I'm sorry, vegan. And
okay. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
And then you came in again. I was like, that's why I was like, no, we can't do this. But y'all can do it. But the study that we're talking about is not talking about cooked food at the beginning. It's talking about hominids just starting to eat meat. And then, of course, we discovered fire. And we obviously found the benefits of cooking our meat. It benefits us.
Right.
I would say this, and people might say, well, you were contradicting yourself. Cooking a piece of meat breaks the meat down. So you could say I get that article, but it's for me misleading or moving away from the expensive tissue hypothesis. But who am I? Y'all could come right back and say,
I was trying to think brain health a little bit, but
yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Anybody? Keon, did you want to say something before I move on to the paper? I'm going to move on to the paper and actually read it. It's going to try not to get bored. Go ahead. Anybody before I start reading this long? I'm not going to read all of it. I'm going to just jump from place to place because there's graphs in there and tables and
right.
I just want to get the gist of it. Who said damn?
I was going to ask real quick because it's interesting that earlier hominids were considered omnivorous, just like we are. But I'm kind of wondering, like, at what point did the meat become like a staple in the diet? Like, right? Because that part had to evolve as well, to where I'm sure it wasn't just like they woke up one day and decided, oh, let's go eat some deer meat or something, right? It had to be something that happened to cause that adaptation to happen, to where now how humans are omnivorous, we eat plants and animals. Like, I wonder, was there like a specific point where that kind of changed, where things like branched off?
Right. That's a good question. There are different I guess they're paleoanthropologists or different scientists who have different takes on when we actually, or how I should say, how much we actually ate. When we read this paper, I don't know if this particular, I'm trying to find an excerpt that goes into that. Like, you're asking, when did we actually start having, I would say that we did because we already were eating and enjoying, a vegan or a mostly a vegetable based or foliage based diet. We would occasionally eat small birds and insects in the trees and the canopies. When we came down, we held on to that, right? So I think adding the meat, that would be right there, an omnivorous diet. They didn't just say, okay, we're not going to eat any more plants. If I'm answering that,
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it. It's curious to think about how that adaptation started. You know what I mean?
Right. And if I read this, God, there's a lot to read. If I read this, I think there is a part that she goes into. They start talking about, like what Honey was saying about cooking. I think they touch on this somewhere. I haven't. Oh my gosh, there's so much. People are like, you haven't read this. I have read it, but it's like there's 23 pages. But I do believe that they talk about how they were hunting. And I mean, I know they do. I'm just trying to find the part on the paper.
Hey,
but,
Nepal, real quick.
I'm trying to find it. Go ahead while I look through this.
Yeah, because actually, Dr. Tusu actually was. I was what's the word? I was interested in that question too. So they were saying that it was the Homo around the Homo erectus time is when it became more of a balanced diet between plant variants. Actually, this is where we start seeing them actually eat more fruits and grains and also cook meat. It says that it would suggest that they was actually hunting a little bit better because they was cooking the meat too. So that's what it came up with when
they started to cook the meat. It's important.
Yeah, that's when
from the beginning that they at first they did not cook the meat.
Yeah,
right.
And of course, they started cooking meat.
And they say the Homo erectus is like 110,000 to possibly 1.9 million years ago, around that area.
And also, I'm sure it took how they started working together. It took groups to hunt down like large game animals, right? Because you couldn't just go hunt a wildebeest by yourself, right? You need like a group with you. So that working together, the developing, it's like what's the word for it? Where it's all tied in together, like
a community.
We develop. No, like how. Yeah, that, but just think about how like our brains got larger. We started to develop in our brains, and then we started to work together in bigger groups, which led to us eating more meat because now we can hunt large game. We have food for days. Yeah, like it all just kind of goes together, I think.
Okay.
What I wanted to say, because I had to write it down, because one of the things y'all was talking about was somebody said something about snakes and
Definitely.
And I remember telling Nepal something about getting some snake, looking up snake oil and snake serum and bee honey oil, right? Serum, because it was for pain. Because the saying is, what don't kill you what could kill you also could heal you, right? And so
snake venom.
Exactly, snake venom and bee sting oil. It's a gel oil, right? And it's really old, but it's still around, right? And so that was one of the things. And then in Kemet, right, we feed what feeds us, right? And so that's like when we water our plants, part of that libation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that part of that farming. You see what I'm saying? And it's all about the reciprocity, right? And so when we do that, everything that you're doing, like I seen in a movie where when well, it's not even in the movie, it was part of the comedic burial where they had the specific area where, like we do right now, we
Mm-hmm.
still have the same funerary practices. No matter how we want to look at it, it's still the same thing. We still have the same specific ways. We don't mummify, we dress them up. You see what I'm saying? We still have the same specific person that we have to comb their hair, to get them dressed. We still have the same, we don't call it a ritual, but we call it the walk-in, and we have the same ceremony, right? And some people, if they can afford it, have a month here, and they go here to there, and then they go to the grave site. But honestly, when the last time you seen a new graveyard? Exactly. And so, but we still do that. But in Kemet, that was one of the things that they did, among things, right? And it was respecting of the elders. Now, I'm not trying to take that and run, because y'all know when I go off camera what's happening, right? So
Right.
you can come on forward and go ahead, and then I'm going to come back. All right.
Yeah, no, and before I forget, we got to wish the queen a belated happy birthday. We didn't do a show.
Uh-oh.
Her birthday was May 18th. And so much
Okay.
the Sakina.
Happy belated birthday.
Okay.
Happy born day.
Yes. I have to go and jog my memory on this paper. Yes, I have read it, but it's been a minute, not that long. So I did find this much of what you were asking. This might help Doc Too Sweet when we're talking about when we actually became, or how it affected.
Go back to the scatter plot. Go back, no, down to the scatter
You
plot.
want to see that one first? Okay.
Sorry, I was just wanted to look at it real quick because I was trying to see. Okay. So it's showing a cranial accessibility.
Yeah, cranial capacity over time. So this is good. You know what? I can send this paper to you afterwards. I think. Yeah. Are you a member? Are you in JSTOR?
Yeah, anyway, it's in my school. Yeah.
Okay, everybody on the panel. Everybody. Where was I? Okay, let me read this part. I think this is it. Yes. So this is an excerpt from the actual paper. These equations suggest that the average primate with a larger relative brain size than the average mammal also has a smaller relative gut size than the average mammal. The relationship between relative brain size and diet is often mentioned in the literature on primate encephalization. They talk about what paper that is in 1979. Okay, let's get to this part. And is generally explained in terms of the different degrees of intelligence needed to exploit various food resources. For example, Parker and Gibson have argued that a relatively large brain and neocortical size correlates with omnivorous feeding in primates. So there you go. Omnivorous feeding. So again, Gibson and Parker have argued that a relatively large brain and neocortical size correlates with omnivorous feeding in primates. See, so then they add to their diet, they implemented meat into the diet, which requires relatively complicated strategies for extracting high quality foodstuffs. I want to add that as they added in the protein, though, it was for whatever reasons we can explore. They started to reduce the foliage, they were less frugivores, less folivores, but they didn't cut out that, okay? They didn't cut it out. Let's keep reading. Alternatively, Clutton, Brock, and Harvey have suggested that frugivores have relatively large brain sizes because they have relatively large home ranges than folivores. So real quick, I might be wrong. Can y'all put a pin in that? We got to look up frugivores.
Because I'm like, what in the hell?
No, that's what we
doing. Frugivores.
We ain't on the island, y'all, because I might have the wrong definition of it. So intelligent minds, not over there making stuff up. We're gonna look that up, right? Because we're gonna get. I bet you we'll know when we leave here, right?
And then the negative. So this is talking about the negative correlation between.
I thought it was fruit. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The negative correlation between brain size and gut size, which is saying that as one gets larger, the other gets smaller.
Hold that thought, because you know what? I was just thinking a coconut, and I'm not even on the island, dropped in my head. Frugivore is a fruit. See, I was confused because a folivore would be somebody who eats like leaves and stuff.
Foliage, yeah.
Foliage. And then a frugivore is fruit. So I just thought both were the same group together. So it's very specific. So that's great. So let me show you. So basically, I looked it up. It's frugivore, a fruit eater, and folivore is a leaf on. So get it? This is so complex because carnivore meat, frugivore fruit, folivore foliage. So I just grouped frugivores and folivores together. And when I saw them like comparing the two, I was like, what? Y'all don't even know the definition, right?
Most animals that eat fruit eat foliage too. So you probably won't really find too many animals that don't eat both, but they're out there.
Dog Too Sweet, just like I was telling Honey when she was talking about the cooking. Remember, we're talking about early accessibility and early diet.
Okay.
Now,
but like fruit bats only eat fruit, so those would be frugivores. That's an example.
Peace to my brother Seven Asar. We're gonna get back. Just let me finish this off and then I'm gonna go to 7 right away. Let me just, because you were asking about the omnivorous aspect. So now I think we're all on the same page. If anybody's still wondering, basically, this is talking about how when they implemented the meat, let me just finish reading. Stop, Napa. Alternatively, Clutton, Brock, and Harvey have suggested that frugivores have relatively large brain sizes because they have relatively larger home ranges than folivores. Remember, we were talking about environment, right? That's what we're talking about. Early hominids, necessitating a more sophisticated mental map for location and exploitation of food sources. See the circle, how it connects. Like my brain works better, I can find food better. The food makes my brain work better, so I can find food better. The food it's like a cycle. It's awesome.
The feedback loop. That's the word I was looking for. The phrase, the feedback loop.
Feedback loop. Thank you. The results presented here suggest that the relationship between relative brain size and diet is primarily a relationship between relative brain size and relative gut size. The latter being determined by dietary quality. Right there to Honey, Sakina, to Doc Too Sweet, to everybody, Keon. When we talk about dietary quality, that's when we start talking about, cooking the meat. What else? What did you say when you said something, Doc Too Sweet? And I said, it's like what Honey said. You mentioned something. Accessibility, maybe you said?
I don't know.
Because
I'm sorry. I'm doing what the team are doing, so forgive me.
We're evolved, right? We're evolved. But I'm talking about before we evolved. Dietary quality, we can take a look at, okay, obviously cooked meat is better quality than raw meat for our bodies. Come fight me, anybody out there who likes to eat raw meat. But dietary quality is relative to the evolution. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to finish this and then I'm going to pass it over to you, 7. This would imply that a high quality diet is necessary for encephalization, no matter what may be selecting for that encephalization. High quality diet relaxes the metabolic constraints on the encephalization by permitting a relatively smaller gut and thereby reducing the considerable metabolic cost of the tissue. I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to say again, I want to make sure that I do say this, because I was like, no, because I saw everything like going down the wrong path, but it's not saying that selection, cooking, balance of the diet, how we know now, it's not saying that does not help our brain grow, and that does not aid or contribute to encephalization. But I wanted to take this step by step, right? Talking about, we came down out those trees, boom, what did we do right away? Eat raw meat. And then we started to foliage better. We could find food better. And in our omnivorous diet, we were unstoppable. And I'm gonna get to the consciousness. Okay, thank you for letting me go. Y'all can cut me off. You know that. You know that. Go ahead, Seth.
No. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Doc Too Sweet. Whoever was that, Honey or Doc Too Sweet?
No. Go ahead, Seven. Go ahead, because I'm trying to figure something out in my head.
Yeah, and I said put a pin in something. So if you forgot it, I forgot it too. Wait before Seven? What? Let me start with Seven, and then I'm going to ask people that I haven't really talked to, Honey and Keon even. Seven, what do you think about this whole hypothesis? And I'm going to just to do a whole check on the whole board, but I'll go to Honey after you. What do you think about this hypothesis? Is it BS to you, or does it sound like interesting?
Oh no! It's sounding like a real investigation with the information. It's sounding. I mean, it's real sound from how you're breaking it down and how everybody's adding to it. I do have a question. I think I heard earlier you guys said that the female brain was growing faster than the male. We're bigger, faster than the male. Am I correct?
I wasn't here for that. I don't know.
I don't remember that being said.
Okay,
I think she
I
did
may
say
have missed.
that the eating of meat, because it was hard to get and hard to obtain, like it helped forge a bond between like the mom and the offspring.
Yeah. That's what
Okay, because I know the women are the first teachers, right? So I would think that the females with brains would develop faster to be able to communicate with the child and help it evolve and elevate. But maybe I misheard what was said. But I think that everything that you're breaking down it's piqued my interest. I'm listening here. I want to learn more. I think that you're on something, right? And
something?
I think this is something. I think this is something that's good. A good build for the community.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Stay with us. We are more than welcome. I saw you in the chat. You remind me of Genesis, Honey. Genesis being the chat boy, and so I asked you the question, what do you think about it? And then I saw you say did you say you love beef? What do you think about this in a nutshell? I said, okay, no more nutshell. That's my 3. I can't say in a nutshell anymore. Let me stop. What do you think about this hypothesis? Oh my life. Go ahead. What do you think?
I think it's integral when you're talking about evolution. I think evolution, yes, is an integral part of how we understand us and what we are. Because they even say like a doctor said that like say like people who are on the verge of Alzheimer's, they put them on a high protein diet for like 2 weeks. And it helps their brain to focus and function a little bit more, and helps to dial back some of the symptoms. Oh, wow. So, that goes along with this as well. If I could find that, I'll send it to you, Nepal. But I just thought about that because it goes along with this. Because when I heard it, I said, what? Really? I didn't think, but I guess with this, it kind of makes sense.
Okay, yeah, we're
Eh,
gonna thank you for adding that. We're gonna talk about the developmental brain, but yeah, that's a great point. You know what else works for it? And this is gonna be for my sister Sakina, so I could throw her alley oop. Coconut oil. So it's not only meat that contributes to the brain, but it's such a huge part of the developmental brain. I mean, think about it. Protein, the animal product, is the first thing that we actually consume as infants, which is breast milk. That's actually,
Mhm.
that's animal
Mhm.
product. So let me go on. Let me go to Doc Two Sweet, and then I'll go to Sister Sakina. I get an idea of what you think about this, but I want you to just give us a little, check the temperature. What's your whole take on this hypothesis, Doc Two Sweet?
Well, I think they're getting somewhere. I think that there does need to be obviously more research done to gain deeper insight into it. But I was just thinking about how they say, dolphins are very intelligent mammals, right? The bottlenose dolphin actually has a brain that's bigger than humans. So it just makes me wonder, like, could this hypothesis actually be proven one day and be more than just a hypothesis? Because dolphins are carnivores. All they eat are, like, shrimp, octopi. They eat meat. So is this just a hypothesis, or is it actually, like, being proven through nature and what we see in nature? I don't know what it's going to take to actually move it past just a hypothesis, but it really makes sense, and it follows the logic when you think about the exchange of protein into gray matter, so to speak, and the fact that, like, when doctors tell you that if you want to increase, like, brain power and stuff like that, you want to eat more fish, which has the omega-3 fatty acids. You know what I'm saying? So to me,
great point. Great
it makes
point.
a lot of sense. Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point right there, sis.
I mean,
That was
sharks.
it. Sharks. What about sharks?
Sharks got little brains. They eat meat relatively.
Yeah,
And
well,
sharks
see,
are
that's
smart
part of the.
predators.
I was about to
Sharks are
say
smart
sharks are
predators.
very, very smart, but then that was part of the paradox in this hypothesis, which might be why it's still, just a hypothesis, because the paradox is there are animals who have higher metabolic rates but smaller brains. So
Right.
it then
Oh,
becomes, yeah, it then becomes trying to figure out what fill in that gap to figure out, okay, if they have the higher metabolic rate, why don't they have the bigger brains? That's
yes.
part of the
The
paradox.
brain size doesn't match brain power. That's what you're
We're
saying.
going to talk about that at the beginning of the paper a little bit. We're going to touch on, they do a comparison on this table, and it shows um, basically the organ and how it relates to the size, different sizes of the different sizes of the organs in the body. I didn't, Keon, I thought you dropped off for some reason, but let me go to Sakina, and then Keon, I want to have you we're going to do a little check on everybody, see what they think so far about this. So Sakina,
All
you go
right.
ahead and weigh
Thank
in, and then we'll get to Keon. I
So
think Keon.
let me shout out Ramza with the Shark Week because sharks are dumb as fuck. And excuse my
That's
French,
hilarious.
because the killer whale is about the smartest one in the ocean, and the dolphin
Fat,
is the
Mm,
second.
mm.
And dolphins,
fat.
if dolphins eat bottom feeders, right, then it should be more smart humans out here, not the ones that drink smart water, but they should be just
Sakina.
dolphins out here, right? But again, because dolphins were part of the beat up species with the I think it was the otters or the walrus, because they was in the part of the tuna can, right? The dolphins and
hmm
what was
They
it?
were getting caught in the net. They were getting caught in the nets. Yeah.
Oh no, not the ones that was getting caught in the net. The dolphins. I'm talking about the ones when they was pulling up and they were beating them for the tusk.
Oh,
Those
oh
are
yeah,
walruses
All
and
right, so
seals.
yeah, so
Seals really were the ones they were beating.
yes, they were.
But I think
yeah.
walrus have tusks, not do seals.
Yeah,
Seals don't.
Not
walrus.
the seals.
Seals
Okay,
don't got that.
Walrus got the tusk. Yeah.
yeah, so they were beating them, and they were also
The
putting them in a
seals.
tuna can, right? And
Are
Elephant?
you talking about
Oh,
the killer whales? Are you referring to the
no,
killer
no,
whales?
no.
I don't think the seals were
I
in
mean, they
tuna.
was. I mean, elephants got tusks too. They was doing that to the
Right, but
elephants.
I'm not talking about the elephants. I'm talking
Okay.
about the seals and
There's elephant seals though.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Oh
they
yeah,
were
that
doing.
too. Yeah.
They were putting them
That's
all
true.
in the tuna can. But again, dolphins say we know that dolphins save people's lives.
Plant-like plankton.
Right, with this intelligence.
You all need to stop out there.
We know that whales were carrying signals so far in water that they were
What is plant like
going off
plankton?
marine ships and carrying on for on Navy ships for a
I
while.
love you, Tara.
So it was all kind of stuff going on with the intelligence of these animals. Correct?
Facts.
No, this is very true. So
No, wait. I'm trying to see what you're saying. Are you saying that dolphins are? I lost you.
I'm just saying
Tara,
with
I wasn't trying to make fun. I see what you said. You said plant like plankton, seaweed, and algae. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying now. That it's seaweed that looks like plankton. My bad. My bad. Go ahead.
right, but to compare, I think they were only comparing a brain size to the human, not the intelligence.
Yes, the intelligence, sister.
Well, there's a thing called EQ where they it's like the brain to body ratio that they measure. So for humans, our brain to body ratio is pretty, I guess, extensive compared to other animals. Whereas, like, we were just talking about the shark, and I just read that compared, when you look at their body size, like their brains are actually relatively big for their body size. So that could be why they have such high intelligence when it comes to being, you know, an apex predator in the ocean.
You talking about sharks?
Yeah.
Fact. Yeah, with sharks. Yeah.
Somebody say sharks are dumb.
Right, but the shark is not the most.
Sharks are not dumb. Sharks are not dumb.
They're not dumb, but
At
they're
all.
not the most. I'll give it to you. You say the apex predator.
No, they're apex predator for, like, you know, their grouping, I guess, but that's not to say that they can't get hunted down by something else, you know?
Right, but the
Oh, yeah,
group,
that's for sure.
The only thing that could beat a shark is a killer whale.
Exactly, the black and white
That's it.
orca whales,
Orca,
because they
yeah.
grew
But that's a carnivore.
the school of
Yeah.
pods of killer
Yeah,
whales,
fact.
and they were called killer whales for that reason. And so
Yeah,
not
whales don't even attack sharks.
not any
Yeah,
other
whales don't.
just the killer
Only
whales.
the killer whales do. Yeah, the regular whales don't attack sharks.
Killer whales for that reason. So now sharks, the
Yeah.
great white shark and all this other thing, right? And the only reason a dolphin can kill a shark is because of the nose. And that's why sharks don't
There you
mess
go. And they
So-
outsmart them too, though. They are smarter than the sharks, so they do be outsmarting them. They be setting them up, I think.
This is not but the sharks ain't that crazy about hanging around a school of dolphins or whatnot either. But I don't even know if they call them a school of dolphins or whatnot. But again, I'm not gonna say sharks ain't that foolish, but I'm not that foolish with no shark either. But
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about working together. Because if you ever watch orcas,
and that would
hunt,
be whales, correct?
Yeah.
You're right.
right? They like them developing intelligence could have to do with how they work together, and vice versa. Because the way they hunt is crazy. Like, how did they even develop the intelligence to know how to, like, you know how we herd animals? Like, that's how they herd their prey. Like, they'll herd them to a certain area, they'll circle them, they'll do different things to tire them out. It's like that had to take, you know, I don't know if it took thousands of years, but it's just incredible to me because we would only expect humans to do things like that.
Well, they raised their young for what, a couple of years, and then you know what I'm saying, and then they only travel like that in pods. So that's how whales travel. They mate for life like raccoons, right? And so this is how they roll.
Did you know a group of sharks is called a shiver?
No, listen. I do like shark.
That's crazy.
I'm at the same time, but yeah, I know if a shark bite a human, it's on accident. It's not for real because they don't even like the way you taste. But
Right. No, but see, the surfers and stuff be out there in them wetsuits that mimic the feel of like seals, the blubber and stuff. So that's why they take a chunk at you and then they be like, "Oh no, that's not what I wanted."
Yeah.
But
so much true.
I know Nepal wanted to circle back to the expensive tissue. I just thought it was.
I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, I think you're froze. Yeah, I was just about to tell you that.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say goodbye to the panel. I have to go.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we appreciate your input
coming up here. I'll be back. See you guys. Nice meeting you, Sakina.
Thank you,
Pa, Keon. Later.
And don't be a stranger. We want to be able to have sisters come in and build and try to show we want to show our level of intelligence. And we don't always have to agree, which we don't. We don't always agree. Like you and Sakina were coming out for me real quick. Oh, she left? Okay. You and Sakina, did she leave? Well, if you hear me still, sis, the thing is we need to, as women, because the men have been doing it a long time, we need to really be intellectual. We need to get up here I know we're all intellectual. We don't need to be, we are. And we need to be able to get in here and have these discussions, with each other and represent, because the brothers, like I said, they do it and they don't always agree. They get heated. Keon was over there throwing elbows earlier with some of the brothers. Mm-hmm. But he can get up here tomorrow. Did we lose 7? We lost 7 too, huh? Well, he can get up here tomorrow with 7, which you didn't agree with 7, but he can do a build. And I just want us to do that more. So I'm just saying this to the sister and to all of us, to Sakina, to Doc Too Sweet, to Naphtali, to who else? Of course, Gemini. Who else teaches? The sisters over there on the channel, Dulcinea, everybody, we need to come in on a regular and teach. Anybody who doesn't want to do that, we're not going to get everybody to do that. Like the creature over there at the Laguna on Pseudo Killigan's Island, she don't want to do it. We figured it out. Some people don't want to get up and teach. So I appreciate people who want to teach, who don't want to be doing anything else. Let's throw elbows intellectually. Let's bang on each other intellectually, but let's show these brothers that we can do that just as well, if not better than they do. Right, ladies? Right, sisters? Right, queens? Am I wrong? Can we do it better than them?
We can do it much better than them because there's no testosterone involved, if you ask me.
Right.
I'm just saying.
That's true. And I love the brothers. Don't think we're coming for you. No, because
I forgot. Hey, Keon, I forgot to.
No, but the brothers have been doing it. That's why I'm saying the brothers have been doing it for over a decade, coming in, disagreeing. We don't have to, like my sister Naphtali I love Naphtali. We used to, oh my God, me and Naphtali and I used to be at each other's throats.
Did your page freeze or you got a picture up?
I don't know what's going on. My camera went off.
Yeah, your stuff is froze.
Okay. Sure. But I want to say this, but then I realized it, like, we need to have, how do I say, a camaraderie, an understanding. And I'm saying this to Naphtali because she's now a veteran in as far as coming in here and trying to debate. We as women, we don't have to kumbaya, but we must be able to treat each other as intellectuals with that, on that level of respect. You can criticize my information. You can say it's silly. You can go in on my information if you want, but let's try to not hate each other and start looking at each other like we want to destroy each other's lives just because we don't get along with each other's information. I'm talking about me, like I said, me and Naphtali, you know, Sakina. Remember how it used to be with me and Naphtali earlier? We early on when she first came out, we were just like, I hate her. I hate you. I finally said, listen, no, there's not enough women in here teaching. I'm not gonna join in with you. We're gonna be ending this soon. I know you have to take care of your baby priorities. But my point is this: I need the women come in, teach, and let's get it in. That doesn't mean everybody. We're not gonna save everybody.
Right. And considering that we as women are the minority, it kind of makes sense for us to, like you said, we ain't gotta kumbaya, we ain't gotta be best friends, but there should be some sense of camaraderie at a certain level, knowing that we are the minority, that we all have something to contribute to say. And in this male dominated environment, it's harder if we're doing it separately in pockets instead of like, we all gonna have each other back. So I agree with what you're saying.
100%. So like I said and honey, I'm just saying, because you're new in here, and the other two sisters that I've acquainted myself, don't be a stranger as a woman. Don't worry about, like for instance, I keep using Naphtali's and be like, why are they bringing my name up? Naphtali, I have to bring your name up because you were the one that had the debate with Doc Too Sweet, and you and I have history. So that's the only reason I'm bringing you up, sister, because you're a good example and I'm a good example. Because nobody was at each other's throats more than
Seven's back.
Yeah, me and Naphtali. Oh my God! And now I don't agree with her teachings, but I will always promote her when I get a chance. I will always say, "Come on in." Naphtali's a good researcher. Naphtali does her thing. And I'm going to do that for Sakina. I'm going to do it for Doc Too Sweet. Honey, you come in. I'm going to do it for you. Let's just teach. And let's bang with the information. It's all love. Got it? Okay.
Yes,
so
I agree.
You are froze, Nepal.
What'd you say, sis?
You are froze.
I know. Can you hear me, though? You can't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Something happened. My camera
yes, Caleb.
I broke my camera because my ugly face, my Medusa.
Stop.
I'm joking.
Stop it. You're beautiful.
Yeah, it's all love, peace.
That was very well said, sis. I have to say that was very well said. What you said.
Come in, Seven, and add.
I agree with you 100%. Like me and brother Keon could bang heads with each other, but I got that brother back if he was in a fight with any of our ops. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
And for you sisters too. You know what I'm saying? Me and Nepal don't agree all the time, but Nepal know I got her back.
Facts. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't care what
all that need to be said.
Seven gonna got your back. He got
and that's what I love. See, Sakina was ready to elbow me in the throat earlier.
No, I wasn't.
That's one thing. That's one thing I love about Sister Sakina, though. She is direct. She'll come straight for the jugular. I can't wait to hear her speak a lot because I love how she engages with everyone. It's awesome. We need more of you all. We need more of you.
Thank you. That's why the sister left. She was like, I'm getting ready to leave now. We held this down for a while. What is it? An hour 53. We did well. I mean, to be honest, we didn't get through the whole paper. Go do the research, y'all. The paper is really detailed. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I'm just like, I think we gave a lot of people a starting point to kind of do their own research. We went over the basics of the hypothesis, and it's always on the individual to do their own independent research. So I highly recommend people look into it, look into research surrounding it, and make up your own mind. You know, you don't have to agree with it or even accept it, but it's nice to know what's being spoken about and be up on the latest knowledge. There you go. You're back, Nepal.
Yes, thank you. So it's all love. And shout out to my sister H. Millette. Shout out to the mods, Caleb, my mod, Caleb, and I think Ramza was giving some good information, but I also think he
Oh
was
yeah, those
trolling.
on too.
A slight bit of troll was going on there, but it's fine, darling. All right, Keon.
Eric?
Ramsey is funny.
Keon, we're not feminist. We are trying to represent, because let's be real, we are not representing enough. I need more women, because then we won't have anything.
Fact.
And shout out to Genesis. I almost forgot Genesis.
Yeah.
We won't have people talking about, oh, this is a man panel. What? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
I personally though, I don't even like to characterize genders personally. I'm not really into that. I'm a new
Oh, I didn't
generational
know, and
guy.
I respect you for that. If you're non-binary, I am absolutely.
No,
Well, I wouldn't
that
say
is not what
non-binary. I wouldn't
that
say.
is
I
not what
wouldn't
he
say.
said.
I wouldn't say that. I
Go
wouldn't.
ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mike. They are talking. Go ahead, Keon. What do
yeah,
you all want to say?
yeah. I would just say it's just more like just not putting women are sad all the time or they cry all the time. Like characteristics like that. I wouldn't do that. Personally, me, I don't mind having conversations with women, men. It's more just about if it's
Good
logical,
information.
logically sound. Yeah, if it makes sense to me. Other than that,
That's
I could care
awesome.
less about your gender. That makes no sense to me for you to even bring up somebody's genitals while you're having a conversation with them. That just,
Fact.
honestly don't make no sense. But yeah,
Those are
yeah,
fact.
about the conversation though, definitely thought it was interesting. I did want to ask if we did have time, like like at the end all be all, like let's say if we did go back to I guess Homo erectus and instead of us having more meat or a more balanced diet, like if we just went straight plant, like what kind of evolutionary changes do you think would probably take effect? Like in 2025, what do you think we'll look like? Like you think we will look more like apes?
2025, or you mean like 3,000? Well, we're already doing it. We got a
Right.
lot of issues. We didn't get to that. I know that Doc Too Sweet, she has a small child, and I know Honey stayed with us a long time, so I can't really. I mean, I might stay up here if you want and go over it. Everybody, you're free to go. But we are going into veganism, and there are people who have their children are being born with a higher rate of autism,
And developmental delays.
developmental
Yeah,
issues,
neurotypical.
because they're
Yeah.
being vegans, and they're taking small children and restricting them to a vegan diet, and it's not looking good. So even in that, just with that, looking at that right there, imagine if we just continued on, we'll be like the chimps.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
Our cousin.
we would not have evolved to where we are today because according to this hypothesis, had we not eaten more protein and taken in that meat, our brains would not have had that exchange of, energy as far as our brains getting bigger and the other, like the gut getting smaller. That may never have happened. So when people think about evolution, I like to remind them that it doesn't mean that it's necessarily random, but one small change could affect, so many different things. Like there's so many variables involved. So I think this is just one of those things that just kind of happens. And we're like Nepal said, if we're seeing like these kids who are born from vegan mothers and parents, and they have these developmental delays, again, it kind of just substantiates the idea of this extensive tissue hypothesis.
Thank you. And you
I can
know
see
what? You
it.
made me think before. I know you're here. Anybody? I know y'all want to add in. I'm going to let you each close out, but you reminded me. I wanted to quickly show this part of the paper. If you have access to JSTOR, you can get this paper and read it. Let me read this portion. We already
How do you
know.
gain access? How do you gain access? I'm sorry, Nepal.
No,
How do
you
you gain access?
go to JSTOR, JSTOR, and then you log in. It will either, if you're part of school, like a university. You can log in that way. You can do your own personal.
Your local library. There's a lot of different ways to log in. You just kind of have to go through the options to see what's best for you.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Good question. 7. So it says brain tissue is, remember it's by Aiello, Aiello, and Wheeler. Brain tissue is metabolically expensive. Now you see my song, y'all, when I say blood and flesh is always so expensive. I just love this hypothesis. Don't ask me why, because it makes sense. Brain tissue.
The pound of flesh analogy.
What'd you say?
The pound of flesh analogy.
That's a good one. Yes, a pound of flesh. So I'm talking about my song though, right?
Yeah. I know.
I might
a good
play
song, by the way.
I might, that's what when she says a pound of flesh, it says the demons. Well, this is how I know it. A demon always wants its pound of flesh or to get your get back, right?
Yep.
That's what the pound of flesh is, correct?
Yep.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. So, because it's like a payback. You get it? You pay with the pound of flesh. So I like that. Okay. So brain tissue is metabolically expensive. But there is no, and also, God, they're going to say, please shut up and keep talking. No, but listen, also we value our life, our fragile bodies. Our material bodies are very fragile. We don't really, our minds are beyond it so much that we don't really sit down as much as we should and say, wow, I actually made it through a day. You get it? Like, okay, so brain tissue is metabolically expensive, but there is no significant correlation between relative basal metabolic rate. That's what you guys were kind of talking about, you and 7, and about the, let me keep going, and relative brain size. Okay, so the size of the brain and the basal metabolic rate. What is basal metabolic rate for those who are unsure? Let me just read it for you. Basal metabolic rate, your BMR, is the minimum number of calories your body needs to accomplish its most basic life-sustaining functions. That's your autonomic system, right? If I'm a little rusty. Okay, so basically heart, brain, lung. Yeah, okay, so we got that, right? All right. So your basal, where was I? Your basal metabolic rate. The expensive tissue hypothesis suggests that the metabolic requirements of relatively large brains are offset by a corresponding reduction of the gut. Splanchnick, and I believe Splanchnick, let me look it up, but I believe it means visceral, like the guts, right? Like all your main organs. Y'all know we be looking stuff up here, and we don't want to
know what you're talking about.
Splanchnick is like the trunk, like the visceral organs, I think. Let me look.
What is the word again? Say it, because I didn't even know what the word was.
I believe it's Splanchnick. I'm rusty. But over here, we don't just...
How do you spell it?
Splanchnick. Splanch. Oh, wait. Splanchnic. I just read
anything related to the viscera or internal organs, particularly those within the abdominal cavity.
Perfect. And how do you pronounce it, Doc? Because we don't be over here timidoring all Pauticio and stuff. Turn it into Splanchnick, my friend Splanchnick from Russia. He's my friend Splanchnick from Russia.
I can't get over that Italian. It's so funny. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's Splanchnick. Yeah, you're right.
Is it Splanchnick? Okay, so basically now we look at the paper, we read it, and it says the splanchnic organs. Oh, they say liver and gastrointestinal tract. You get it all in in the old days they called it the trunk. In the trunk are as metabolically expensive as brains, right? Hold on, everybody. So people against it say, see, it's metabolically as expensive as brain. So you're wrong. No, we are right, because what happened, y'all, don't forget, there was a reduction in the gut so they could pay that expensive metabolism. Get it? So They are metabolically expensive as brains, and the gut is the only one of the metabolically expensive organs in the human body that is markedly small in relation to body size. Gut size is highly correlated with diet. And relatively small guts are compatible only with high quality, easy to digest foods. I want to ask you something. This goes on and on and on. This is a great paper. I need to reread it. I've read it a few times, but I need to reread it. Here
Do
is.
you think, real quick, not to interrupt, quick question.
I want to show you this.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just showing you this.
Oh, do you think that the people who are members of Mensa, right, the geniuses, I wonder, has anyone done like tests on their gut size, right? Because not to say that their brains are any larger, but the fact that they're considered genius, and we're saying that there's a connection between like brain size and the gut. I wonder if anybody has ever like studied them and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you made me think of something great. You always do. I like that you do that. And because you know what? You sparked something. We don't know about modern day gut size I'm saying I don't. I'm sure scientists do.
Right.
I'm saying, what's the new information? I haven't looked it up. Are gut sizes increasing? Or I would say they're still they're either staying the same or decreasing. But I don't know, because we have a brain in our gut and our heart, right? So where you can go, Doc. But I was going to say, Sakina has her hand up. I see you,
go ahead, Sakina.
Okay, my question is, with the size of the head not being as big as we should imagine, and maybe some of these guts. Because we know that the large intestine is about 2 feet, and the small intestine is I don't know how many feet. Somebody should be full of shit at this point. So
a lot of people.
I'm just wondering, if we don't have big heads, we should be full of it by now. At least I am. At this gut feeling, right? Because the laxative, without eating a vegetable by now, you should be full of it. This because we are having these at a certain age, you have to go have a colostomy, and you have to let it out.
And the large intestine is actually like 5 feet long.
You see, so there we go. So if you're not having a big head because your brain ain't swole, then you got 5 feet.
Yeah, but we're all when when the sister asks the questions, she wonders about the gut.
Right. So if you ain't got a big head,
we all have the same size brains as humans for the most part. I'm not saying like different variations. Like there's not some human walking around looking like the big head scientist, and he's I'm smarter than all y'all. No, it's like our brains, our guts, as human beings across the board. I was going to show you the table. I don't know why I'd stop screen sharing it. It shows the size of the organs. Let me get back to it for you. This is a table, and I think you can see it. Is it too small? It may be too small.
That's small. And I got on black.
What happened? Was it too small? Damn, it went smaller than that.
That is tiny.
Let me see here.
Yeah, like zoom in all the way, and then I could probably make my screen bigger.
Yeah, let me try to get it.
Okay, that's better. I can see it now.
Okay, so all right, here we are. So you see, it says organ mass and metabolic rate in humans. So it doesn't only show the organ mass; it also is going to show the metabolic rate in humans, that according to the organ. So you see, it says brain, heart, kidney, liver, gastrointestinal tract, and then it gets the total, sums of the total, and then it goes into skeletal muscle, lung, skin, and then it shows the grand total. percentage total body BMR for the human is 89.1%. So,
but look at how sorry, I just
no, go
wanted
ahead.
to draw attention to, so in the percentage of total body BMR, the brain obviously has the highest at 16.1. Then the next highest, well, actually,
The
it
liver
says
has
the
the
liver
highest.
is higher. That's
Yes.
crazy
Yeah.
because that tells you how important the liver is. And I was watching a
Yes.
video, side note, and dude, he's a boxer, and he was saying how he was in a fight and he hit the dude in the liver, and he heard the wind come out of the guy because the liver is like a large organ, and I could imagine getting hit and it hurts. But to see this is interesting because it's showing that the liver actually takes more energy than the
To clean
brain.
up everything. Yeah, because they're cleaning up
Yeah,
all
yeah.
up. They're cleaning up all of the dirty stuff. The liver is where all of the negative stuff that's in your body gets cleaned up. So that's why it's probably using most of the energy.
That
And
makes sense.
boxers used to be taught to target the liver because that
Ooh.
organ would fold boxers. But
Oh
they
yeah.
outlawed that in boxing because they used to target the liver.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
a fun thing to have happen to you.
The
Like
math.
I'd rather take a push to the face, I think. But go ahead.
No,
No
no,
problem,
if
sorry.
you're
Everything
gonna
that comes
die,
out
you're
the liver
seven.
comes out of what?
Excuse
Huh?
me.
Everything that goes out of the liver, once it's cleaned out the liver, it goes out your intestines and your poo, right?
Right?
Exactly. So again,
Yeah.
somebody full of 5 feet of. Oh, okay. So we
Need a
back.
cleanse. They need a cleanse, huh?
Exactly.
Right.
So either you got a big
Colonoscopy.
head, because that's what we said in the beginning. Either they had big heads and small intestines and stomachs, or now they full of poop with little brains. Or is that not what we saying?
No,
We're not-
I'm
it's a
confused.
little more complex than that because the whole idea, like Nepal was saying, it's not that you're gonna see people walking around like the big head scientists, like where their brain is like
That's because they full
proportionately.
of poop.
No,
It
Sakina,
showed they was
I
full of
can't with
poop.
you.
Right now they full of poop running around here with little brains and full of poop.
Okay, I'll let it be that.
I was looking at this where it says organ mass, and you focusing on the liver. If you look at the liver and the brain, they are so close as far as mass, and it really, it gets you to thinking. No pun intended. Gets you to thinking about how, like we were just saying, how important these organs are. And for us, we say brain, heart. No one really ever thinks, when I say no one, y'all, come on, I'm just putting it in general. Of course, people think about this. We're thinking about it right now. But typically, if you hear somebody say, which is more important, the digestive system or the cardiovascular system? Somebody's going to first quickly say, oh, cardiovascular system, of course.
Right.
But when you look at the actual chart and the table, let me take this down. Again, I'm not taking away the vital organs importance, but when you look at the liver, we know this, but a lot of people don't even think the liver is technically a part of the digestive system. Am I wrong? Or, well, is it part of the yeah, I think it is digestive. I can look that up though, because we're in the main one.
It's part of the digestive system.
It has to be because it filters everything that's coming out of the
Filters
digestive
everything.
system.
Yes, I forgot. Thank you, Metter. Metter is on here. Metter, you want to add in? You've been waiting patiently. Metter Williams. Thank you, Seven.
Metter.
I'm just confirming this.
Peace, Metter.
Unless you already looked it up, Seven. I'm pretty sure it's part of the digestive system, but did you look it up?
Yeah, it is.
No,
It's just not
I
a
didn't
part
look
of
it
the
up,
digestive
but I'm
system.
pretty sure that it's part of the digestive system. Yeah,
It is. It's just separate from the gastrointestinal tract. So
right.
yeah.
So you would say, not you. I mean, one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the digestive system isn't as crucial to the body as the brain, or, well, not use the brain, as the cardiovascular. Every one is crucial. Every one of those organs we're talking about. But it just, when you look at the actual Let's see the heart. Look at the heart. Look at the difference. The heart is works so hard. I was talking to my children, and I think the heart is it pumps. Wait, no, the cardiovascular system is how long? What was that, you guys? 64,000 miles. If you laid it out like end to end, that's
is that what it is? Let me see.
Check it up for me because my son was talking to me about that. So
it is over 60,000 miles.
That's
of
crazy.
blood vessels. That
Don't
is
you-
like incredible.
That's
literally.
incredible. We are amazing. Our bodies are amazing. So
Beautifully, wonderfully made.
looking at the heart, look at how small it is compared to the mass as far as the weight, compared to the brain and the liver. But it works so hard. So we got to look at more. But compared to the organ mass, and then you go to the end where the total BMR, the body metabolic rate. If we look at anybody who's good at math, 0.3% compared to 10.7%, even though its mass is only 0.3%, the BMR is 10.7.
Yeah, the ratio. And you know what's crazy too is remember how we were talking about because the heart generates a larger electromagnetic field than the brain. So even though the brain is technically working harder, like it's using more energy, the heart is actually maybe it's an input output thing.
See, we got to go into the second part.
I would say that the heart used more than the brain because the brain is
No,
more
it does.
Yeah, I'm talking about
No, there's
brain.
go
The
ahead.
brain is more like like what you say, input output, and it stores in memory. Because have you ever heard the saying that we have three brains?
Oh yeah, we said that.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
we were just talking about that. We were just talking about
Yeah,
that.
well, yeah, that's the heart, your
The
brain,
heart, the gut, and the
and
brain.
then the
And your
gut.
chest
But then
or the
guess
gut. Yeah,
what
your
though?
gut.
Do you know what really it shocked me when somebody told me this? What's God's name that everybody call on all the time?
God's
The
name,
no,
Jesus.
yes, no. I'm talking about his how would I say it?
What, Yahweh, Yahweh,
His. I'm talking about the name that everybody use and don't really
Lord,
be knowing that they be using. Nope,
Yahweh, Yahweh,
nope,
Lord.
nope. Something,
Tell us.
something. Because when you get that gut feeling when you go in with inside yourself and you get that gut feeling, you be like, man, something told me not to go that way. Something told me
I see
not
what
to.
you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Man, and
intuitive.
I'm talking
Yes.
about when my uncle broke that down to me, I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense because I've been in that situation where something told me not to go that way. Something told me to just, stay home, you know, and
We
that's
all use that
that's
word something because we
Yeah,
can't
that's
yeah.
right.
describe. We can't
But then
describe what it is.
but then that's what you would call the concept of God because that's what's inside yourself.
Good,
Good point.
good ad. Yes. We're going to talk more about. We should do a whole series on the minds, the three minds.
I
Yeah.
think we
Like
should
we can
definitely
talk.
Yeah.
because that is
What?
But hey, the Bible, because I've been doing some study. The Bible and a lot of the biblical text is period breaks
It
down.
seems to always come back to the Bible.
It breaks down. No. It's not that. But you gotta also understand, right? And everybody also we gotta agree. Well, we don't have to agree. We agree to disagree. When they put that Bible together, it wasn't just made with just white man hands and things like that. They literally put that together to the point where we right now is arguing the fact, but at the same time, just like the pyramids of Giza, You can say,
Uh,
"Oh, we don't know how that was put together." Literally, we don't know how they put the Bible and all the biblical books together. The way they doing, because so it can be lined up the way it's lined up year by year, ages by ages. Come on now,
Thank
right or
you.
wrong?
yeah. I was
You
gonna
know what I'm
say
saying?
too, in terms of this paper, because the paper is only talking about the brain and the gut, right? Where does the heart play into that? Because like Tara's info for you just brought up how the heart is one of the first organs to develop in vitro, while
But
the you know the
Mm. Great
from
question. Great question.
from my understanding, the brain it'll just pick up. Your heart can mislead you, but
well, that's
your
what the
gut,
Bible says.
no, but
Your mind can too.
yeah, your
Right,
mind can,
right.
but it's going off your heart.
mm,
It's going off your heart. It's a whole
mm,
system we talking about. We just not
But
talking
they're all
about
connected. All
one.
three are connected, right?
Right, right. But then that's where the energy got to be properly lifted up
mm.
to what you will call Christ consciousness.
Yeah,
Well, my
I'm
gut,
just
most people will say their gut is mostly right in their life, right? Most people
Yeah,
well,
say,
yeah.
I should have
That's the
listened
name
to
of the
my gut.
brain.
I agree. I will agree.
Anytime
Yeah,
you get that little
because
ting in your stomach before something,
it's
or butterflies in
Hmm.
your stomach,
it's
those
coming
are
from the
warning
root.
signals. Hold on, pause.
It's
I need to say this to all the women out there. That butterfly feeling in your tummy is a warning signal, baby. Run fast. That's what
yeah,
that means. I
but
promise you.
I feel like
Nah,
I feel like I feel like we are as people. It starts from our feet. It starts from the heel of our feet, and the
mm,
energy goes up and it goes to the root. But then at the same time, what's the first filter that it hits? It's the gut. The gut is the first judge. Like, which way should I go? You know. But then
mm,
at the same time, in my heart, I might have doubt. In my brain, I might have a way out.
mm.
You know what I
That's a
mean?
good.
And I might choose wrong if I'm not properly adjusted together, if I'm not lined up together, you know, if I'm
Yeah.
not standing on my square the way I'm supposed to, I might lead off of it wrong. And then
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
gut
And
might,
human beings have made their best decisions using all three.
Okay, can I
yeah,
say
Right.
right.
this right quick? Because
Go ahead.
if we talk about now I'm not saying everybody believes in all of this, but if we in this instance it relates to chakras, right? And chakras would include the brain,
Mm, mm.
right? Because it's
Mm,
your intuitive or that part and that part. Now where I'm not gonna associate, I'm just gonna say the intuitive part. Now the other chakra will be in your throat, right?
bro.
You have another chakra in your heart. You
Wait, your brain, your pineal, you got
right.
your crown, your pineal.
Okay, so come on in. So now we can identify these. So for me, this is another great lesson because one would say you get on my nerve, right? And then the other one is with the when things don't make your nerve, and then you making that your stomach and your guts, and then you shit up your back. You see what I'm saying? And
What?
because
Hmm.
Tina, we're gonna get
mm,
the
I'm
how many
sorry.
gonna
That's
be
my
saying
last cuss word. I'm sorry.
but no, for
Tell me
me,
it
the
is.
SHIT word is my grandma. She says her password in heaven, but it's still a curse word. So
Okay, I'm
just
sorry, and I won't say it no more. But the thing is that
I don't
um,
want him to get
you
mad.
go from the rooter to the tutor.
mm.
You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Hilarious.
And so this is what that is. And when your brain, it says you are what you eat, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so just like she just got on me about what comes out your mouth, and sometimes
Yeah,
it ain't what come out your mouth is what you put in your mouth,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
If you
so
eat shit, oh sorry.
there you go. See what I'm
It
saying?
can kill it
All
can
of
kill
this
you either
is
way.
the same thing. And so if you're looking at all these things, right? Big headed, little gut. If it's saying that we are what we eat, if we knew better, we would do better. And if we know better, we would show better. Right? So does it
Mm-hmm.
take a scientist to say that? Or did we already know that? So this is a good lesson, right?
I,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I
good
feel like
biblical stuff.
Fact.
Do I believe in the big head? Or is she saying we physically had a big head? Or are we just big headedness?
No, and she's saying that
Because
the body,
I can see that, but I can't believe that because I'm in the middle of both. And I don't want to believe
yeah.
that I got a big head and a big gut.
No,
You
the
know,
hypothesis is saying that there's a trade-off that in order for us to evolve to where we are, we had to sacrifice like having a smaller gut. We had to sacrifice, a smaller jawline and smaller teeth for our brain to be able to develop the way that it did. Well, and all of that ties into what we're eating because if you no longer need to tear into raw flesh, right? Um, you don't need the what is it like if you look at the teeth of a lion compared to the teeth of a human, the differences are obvious because of our diet, right? Like we're omnivores. From my understanding, lions only eat meat. They don't eat any
They don't. They
like
only eat meat. That's
yeah,
a fact.
yeah, right.
you
So that's why they have bigger jaws. They need to crush, or tear through the flesh and probably chew bones and stuff like that. We don't gotta do that.
Fact.
so
That's fact.
why is it necessary then for people to be getting their stomachs cut and lose
Lack of
weight,
self control.
right? And lose weight for lesser food or lesser meat,
Hmm.
right? Are they getting smarter?
No,
Wait,
that's not.
say it again. What'd she say? I was texting Sonetta. Go ahead.
She was saying, are the people who are getting like gastric bypass where they cut out a portion of your stomach, are they getting smarter? And I'm like, no, because that's not the correlation. This and you got to remember, this is an evolutionary thing. This is not something that's happening overnight. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
so
Like
do
just
they get
because,
smarter over time?
I'm gonna take this
yeah,
down.
yeah,
no, I
Yeah,
okay.
feel like
this is hundreds of millions of years ago.
it
Mm-hmm.
well
No, wait, is
like
it? No, it's not. That's a lie. It's hundreds of thousands of
Like a
years.
thousand, yeah,
Oh no,
see,
my
thousand.
bad, my
but
bad. I
Part
caught
of
myself.
evolution then. So are they
but
gonna
you gotta
get smarter then? Because
you
this
gotta you gotta also understand when when you take a person that's a vegan or vegetarian, however you want to whip it up, but
Hmm.
then you take a person that's a meat eater, they taking in way more protein. And back in those days back then, protein was winning wars. You know,
Yeah,
you warn
yeah.
against a person that's a meat eater, and y'all weak people.
Yeah,
So
calories provide energy, right?
yeah, so
Right, but
and
then
then
isn't
that's when people was like, well, hey, they eating meat. We might as well boost our armies up because this is years, thousands and thousands of years ago. You take a vegetational
Yeah, they teach you
community,
that they teach you if your army's well fed, then your army should win. A well
yeah,
fed army is a
yeah.
strong army.
So everybody got a hamburger, but then we eat no leaves. Who you think gonna win? That's
but like in the
Thank
Bible, the
you.
story about Daniel, where him and they wouldn't eat meat, like they would only eat like the vegetables and stuff like that. And I know that had probably more to do with like the dietary laws that they weren't following, like the meat wasn't
but
halal
then
and all
it
that
it
stuff.
it also it
Kosher.
also depend on terrain because if we warn, I don't want the meat to coincide with my body when it's hot, but then if I have that plant base, is keeping me hydrated.
Mm.
But
You know
here's
what I
also
mean? So
a big difference from then and now, especially with how human beings
yeah,
eat now, because we have genetic
and
modified foods, we have 3D printed meat. We're not
Mm.
getting
but
the real stuff that
the oxygen,
the
The
natural
nutrients.
process of evolution is not going like it was back then now because of what we're consuming as human beings. It's
and then
much
you also
different
gotta
type of meat.
you gotta add in the oxygen that they was breathing in. You know,
The
the
Okay,
oxygen they was
oxygen.
so
breathing, the air is
Yeah,
different.
who was it that said
Yeah.
I was texting Sonetta and then I texted a couple of other people because I really like this build as well. I love it how Sakina's keeping us from being an echo chamber. We gotta give her that love.
I know that's right.
Should
We
be
we
on
vibe,
point.
we vibe with her, but she's like, I do not eat meat. Do not play with me. But
No,
Sakina, can
I
we
stopped
talk?
eating meat for a long time.
You don't eat meat either, Doctor Sweet?
I stopped eating meat for a long time, but I do now.
oh,
I eat
oh,
like chicken, turkey, and fish. I don't eat red meat or pork.
I
No
think we
I
fries.
have
just,
a lot in
I just,
What
common.
I just
and
started
they
back
have
eating
diets
meat.
out right now where they're just strictly beef. There's people who testify they lost weight just drinking water and eating steak.
Oh, that's
Well,
But it
here's the
only,
thing,
but
right? The keto diet is it works for a lot of people. It's where you're consuming protein and fat, and your body is able to process it faster. You don't have to worry about storing the fat because you're gonna go into ketosis. But
but
yeah, I don't. I've never been a
cholesterol
big
is
meat
also
but
eater.
hey, here's another example about meat. You take a lean animal, as far as the
Hmm.
deer or a moose, or for example,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
cannot just assume that deer and get all the protein that you can't live off that because it don't have
Right.
enough fat. It don't have enough fat, the fatness that you need, the
A
protein
moose you
really
can,
that you knew.
a moose you
No,
can, but a deer
but
Yeah.
you
you can't.
got no. I'm talking about the moose. You'll have to go into his nose and his eyeballs and everything else. After that,
Mm.
it's
The
over
only
with.
way I, the only reason why I say that, brother, is because they actually have television shows where people who live off the land, and
And
there's
it,
one
and
show
it,
where the brother
and
he kills a moose and it
and
feeds
I
him for
seen
like three
that.
months. He talks about
No,
the meat,
man,
how much meat
he
it gives
almost
them.
he
all
almost starved. He almost starved to death. They snatched.
Yeah, it depends on how much.
He almost
I
starved
seen.
to death.
I'm telling you, it depends on how many moose he's able to get within
Have you
that
seen the
season.
moose? Have you
but
seen the
real
Man,
moose?
quick, yeah, moose
Yeah,
are
moose
now
are big.
now
but let
Moose
me
are
say
big.
now
this to both of
now
you.
let me add this one
Real
in.
quick,
Let
Menace,
me
I'm
add
gonna
this
let
one in.
you have the mic again, but let's not take this too far into like the Bear Grylls show, the wilderness. But what you really
See,
want to point out
see,
is what we want to point out is both of you, the discussion is great. If we remember, the expensive tissue hypothesis is very much based on meat, but it goes into talking about, an expanded diet, an omnivorous diet. And that omnivorous diet, there's nuts. The animals have fat. I don't know about the argument about the moose, but we definitely need those fats. We need those very good fats, and they all go back to the development of the brain. There's so much we could discuss. I'm gonna hand the mic over, but see how the good fats help the brain, but then there's bad fats that also will hurt the body and hurt the system. So I just want
yeah,
to
the
throw that out there.
saturated.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
like
That's
peanuts. Peanuts is good fats for the brain, right?
yeah.
Avocado. Yeah, yeah.
Avocados,
Fish.
yeah.
Avocado, nuts,
Hmm. Fish.
different oils, coconuts.
Coconut
So
Hmm.
water, coconut water, all three, all H3O,
fatty acids,
H3O, good for the brain.
H3O. What is
Whoa,
H3O?
that's
I don't
not
know.
a
I don't know what H3O is.
thing. It's
I
a
was about
whole
to say, what is
thing.
H3O? What in the world is
It's
that?
Well,
a
well,
it's
well,
it's
well.
not.
Oh, you
It's
talking
No.
not
about that can of coconut water?
What is coconut? Well, we can break the water system
You got
down as
alkaline
far
water.
as alkaline to all the way to H2O.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Because
some
So
but I just said H3 because me and my people being that's what we, you know,
the
it's
we
gotta be
can
structured
bring it.
water.
alkaline.
We can
Hydronium is H3O.
the
There's something called
structure,
hydronium.
the structure water, alkaline, all that. We can break it all the way down to H2O, which our body get majority of H2O.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's gotta be
it's already broke down. It's already broke down, and then H2O with some of us it bring harm to us
right.
because you'll be more thirsty. You'll be thirstier than like you can drink a whole gallon of H2O, and then like an hour you still thirsty.
But don't you pee champagne when you do that with all this H3O?
But that
Pea
it all
champagne.
depends on it all
What?
no.
Don P, you peeing Don P? Is that what it is?
No, she said that's that Andre.
Man,
That
yeah, you got
Cristal. She on that
man.
Cristal.
But look, that H2, the coconut water. Then you have the milk.
I'm gonna
Then you
have to cut
have
you off, Metter.
huh?
I'm gonna cut
Go
you
ahead,
off.
go ahead.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm just,
No, no,
no, but
no.
I'm
It's
gonna
just
read this what you brought up because I'm not even familiar with this.
yeah.
So let's talk
But
about it.
see, what it is
Not
when say
full.
when you get like say you go to like a lake or something, and the water there have the algae on the rocks. Then they have the fish poop and all of that stuff. Like you go to a stream, waterfall, stuff like that, and it's going against the rocks and things like that. That's structured water as well. Before they break it down to H2O, because they have all the minerals in the water.
Yeah, those are the natural filters. You talking about the natural springs that have
Yeah,
the natural filter
yeah, yeah.
um, that cleans the water. And yeah, there's
But
a lot of areas like that.
it's more rich. It's more rich than the water that we drink. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah, but I
because
think it's
Well,
all still
let them
H2O,
tell it.
right?
because see what we
Let
want
them
what
tell it.
we want
I was gonna
structured
say,
water to where we want structured water to where our bodies break it down to H2O.
Okay.
Our
but
bodies will
like,
break it down. Our bodies will break it down.
Are you drinking
cause
that right now from personal experience?
Yes. And I'm a welder, and I be in 110-degree rooms, and I keep me coconut water, all that. But man, I'm talking about, and it'll stop your body from cramping up, everything, bananas, all that.
but see, you got to be careful too, cause now, like in the past, we would have just like if we found a creek or stream or something, we would just drink the water that's there. But we had the microbiome in our tummies to do that. Now you could drink some water out of a lake or stream or something, and you could get a flesh eating
Yeah.
amoeba. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it's
Yeah,
like
I
it
agree.
just depends on the source where
Yeah,
it's coming from.
yeah.
Boil the water before you drink it, right?
All
But
that,
there are some springs
all
that
that.
there are
But you really
springs.
just
It's
you
before
see
they filter.
when
Hmm.
you well if you boil your water, if you boil your water, you can like burn some wood and stuff and take the charcoal, the carbon from it, and filter that back through your water. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah. To filter.
it'll give you that mineral back. You know, then it
Oh
becomes
yeah.
structure.
Well, yeah, because if you look at the water filtration systems that humans use today, mostly, and I think the reverse osmosis part of that is filtering it through charcoal.
Yeah,
That's how
charcoal, and
powerful it is.
there's a lot of them is with they're using the man, that's crazy because it might sound crazy, but um the tilapia fish.
Mm-mm.
What about it?
Mm-mm.
I don't
Don't
need.
do it. Don't do it.
Man, y'all didn't know the tilapia fish was made in
was made
bottom.
in
Made in
bottom.
China? No, I'm just kidding.
No, for real. Look it up. Look it up.
It's another fish too. It's a eco
Man,
fish.
that
They
tilapia was fire until I found that out.
they use it to equalize the water, filterize the waters. It's
Hmm.
another fish. They deliberately put them in the water for that reason. It's another one. They call it an equal fish, echo fish, or something like that. They deliberately call it that.
No, if it ain't red snapper or whiting or sand with so if my grandfather didn't fish it
If
out
my
the
grandfather
sea
didn't fish it
himself,
out the sea himself.
So,
yeah,
honey, when was the last
So,
time you ate
honey, when
tilapia?
was the last time you ate tilapia?
what's the echo? Is there echo?
What's the
No,
echo? Is there echo?
man,
No.
bottom of the barrel.
Okay, let me read this real quickly because I haven't heard of people consuming this until today. Understanding, first off, we're going to talk about when they look at this, it says there's so much going on right here, y'all. Let's read this. Let me read this first. Okay, hydrogen water, extra healthy or hoax? A systematic review. Hydrogen-rich water has emerged as a novel approach in the field of health and wellness. It is believed to have therapeutic antioxidant properties that can neutralize harmful free radicals in the human body. Okay, so it has also been shown to be beneficial in mitigating oxidative stress-induced damage through its anti-inflammatory and anti-apoptotic pathways. So they're pushing it as keeping cancer down, I guess, like cell death and maybe I'm still looking at this. Hold on, right? Anti-apoptotic, does the what is it? Apoptosis. Y'all ain't gonna get me out there like you got this, killing in silent. Apoptotic would be like anti-apoptotic would be. Let me see. Does that have to do with what? Help me out, y'all. Cell death or let's look it up though. That's what intelligent
Wait,
people.
what was the word? I didn't hear you. What was
Apoptosis is cell death or not cell, or is it? Let me look it
I
up.
can't. Yeah, can you take this comment off the screen?
Y'all see me? Oh shoot, my bad.
Yeah, but the comment, yeah, I can't see. There you go.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
So
Now what is it?
apoptotic. Apoptosis. Okay. Inhibiting.
Okay, yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Anti-apoptotic.
Okay. I know this one. This one right here.
So it means.
Go ahead, read it to me. Does it have to do with cell death or?
Oh yeah. It's anything that stops cell death because the that's the cell death.
So anti-apoptotic would be stopping cell death.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
See, that's scary. That ain't good.
What you mean?
From what I'm looking at, let me keep looking though, because if you don't, who knows this? If cells don't ever, why?
You gotta remove the dead cells.
Yeah, they regenerate every 7 years. Yeah, you regenerate cells every 7 years, right? So there have some that have to die off.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right.
If a cell doesn't die,
Yes.
somebody for a second, please. It's an echo. But it's echoing. Thank you. Yes. Cells rejuvenate. Cells die off, and then new cells are created. I'm saying though, what happens when cells don't die off? When a cell just keeps on growing? What is that called? Bingo! Ding, 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 ding. I gotta drop you a bomb because you knew cancer And that is
Mhm.
that would, I mean, I wasn't sure, but
Abnormal cell growth. Yes.
Yeah,
thank you. So
that's okay.
anything that's anti-apoptosis, I know that's cancer. So anti-apoptotic, I'm saying it right. I don't want to be like cimetosonary. Let me get this right, y'all. I know
I
apoptosis.
can't. No, you're right. You're right.
I ain't cimetosonary in this whole. Okay, I need to get apoptotic. Am I saying it? I know apoptosis, but
Yes. Yes.
anti-apoptotic, apoptotic, right?
Yeah,
So when it's apoptotic, apoptosis is the death of cells.
correct.
If it's against killing the cells, couldn't it be cancer causing? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm asking.
This is my question because I do know in sickle cell, one cell will dominate the other. And so if cells don't die off, right, then one cell will start to dominate over the other, causing sickle cell, right?
Not
Well,
causing
know,
Well,
right.
it don't cause sickle cell, but it dominates the other. And this is what goes into this sickle cell, what they call the crisis. And when they have to get this plasma or whatever it is to do what it does. So this is where it's confusing to me, but I do know that one cell dominates the other because it's the white blood cells versus the red blood cells. And one is not enough because the other one dominated over that one. And so this is where the blood transfusion comes in. So that's why I said sickle cell over cancer.
No,
But
the cancer is the abnormal. Go ahead.
Sickle
Cancer
cell.
is, hold on, let me finish. Cancer is a phenomenon. It's not necessarily in blood. Yes or no?
No, it's not.
Wait, what are you guys saying? I'm confused.
Sickle cell is only in blood. Cancer is in blood or no?
Cancer is
Yeah,
not.
but it's in the genome.
Let's stick with just the cells though.
Okay.
Because and I'm not saying, I'm not stopping anybody from adding. I want to just focus on the particular water and what it does to cells.
Okay.
The water, no, not just you, Sakina, I'm talking to everybody. So the water that he's referring to so far, Meta, we're looking at the water, and this is the first time I looked at it.
Okay.
If it's anti-apoptotic, let me read that again. Which could be good too, right? It could be good.
Benefits of rich water.
When we talk about oxidative stress, that's where we don't want free radicals. We don't want cell destruction. But then if something's stopping cells from being destroyed, then we don't want that either. So we have to have a balance, correct? Or y'all,
But this,
we're learning this together. Tell me.
I'm looking at this. This is the the waters you get from the stores and stuff like that.
This is the water you get from the store?
Yeah.
This is the H2, the H3O.
Oh, wait, hold on. I only see a couple. Hold on. I'm reading now.
Let me keep reading. Okay, so we know that it's let's go back. It has also been shown to be beneficial in mitigating oxidative stress-induced damage through its anti-inflammatory and anti-apoptotic pathways. So that could be good as well. But when I hear something that stops apoptosis, I think, because I've heard that in cancer research and stuff like that, right? But who knows? Right. Whatever. Let's keep reading. We aim to conduct a systematic review to evaluate the potential benefits of hydrogen-rich water. The review protocol was uploaded on Prospero. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but after the initial search criteria, the articles were reviewed by 2 blinded investigators, and a total of 25 articles were included in the systematic review. The potential benefits of, I think this is the H3O. The systematic benefits of hydrogen-rich water on various aspects of health include exercise capacity, physical endurance, liver function, there's that liver, y'all, cardiovascular disease, mental health, COVID-19, oxidative stress, and anti-aging research are a subject of growing interest and ongoing research. Although preliminary results in clinical trials and studies are encouraging, further research with larger sample sizes and rigorous methodologies is needed to substantiate these findings. You might be onto something here, Metter, but I think Dog Too Sweet was like, no. Okay, introduction.
No, you got it. We got to get.
Here it is. Not to get over. Not to go
get deeper.
Hydrogen water, also known as hydrogen-rich water or hydrogenated water, is regular water that has a molecular hydrogen gas, H2, added to it. Wouldn't that be, I mean, that would be H2.
H2O, right?
I get it.
H3, it'll be H.
Hold on.
H320.
No, it's
H320.
Yeah, this is it. Because the H2 is a type of hydrogen, and that molecule is added to the H2O, making it H3.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's H3O2. There's 3 hydrogen atoms.
Yeah.
2 oxygen.
Yeah.
Right. So this is exactly it. Okay. Water can be hydrogenated. Ooh, I almost was doing semitosing there, y'all. Y'all didn't even stop me. Hydrogenated.
I know you're gonna correct yourself.
I was up there when I said water or hydrogenated. Well, hydrogenated by dissolving. I'm gonna always go to that crazy ass moment because they act like they know everything, and we found out they know nothing. Water, I digress. Water can be hydrogenated by dissolving molecular hydrogen gas into water under elevated pressure, resulting in a supersaturated solution. The hydrogen molecules are extremely small, so they can easily penetrate water and stay dissolved for a while. Hydrogen-rich water has recently gained significant attention as a potential health-promoting beverage. I want to drink this for some reason, even though I don't know if it's good. It's sounding good.
It's good. No, it's spring, real rich spring water.
But
Okay,
the
hold
thing
on.
about it is, and this is saying that
it's
you're just
spring
taking
water.
regular water and you're adding hydrogen gas.
molecule. Yeah.
No,
Right,
listen.
Well,
When you take spring water, right? And I'm talking about natural spring water. And it's going and the flow is flowing through all the algae and everything else. That's what enriches the water. I'm not talking about taking the water, taking it into
the
a
minerals and
plant,
stuff.
and these are natural minerals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These is natural spring waters minerals. There's no extra, nothing added to it. That's what it was.
Right.
H2 HO2 H3O2.
H3. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
I have to look into that a little bit more.
It's not.
Yeah, are you trying to say those two elements, those two hydrogens are added naturally through the spring
natural
water?
through
Is
the
that what you're saying?
spring
Natural
water?
through the
Yes.
spring water, yes.
What region is this in a
water,
particular place?
But then your body break it down.
Your body break it down.
H2O.
You hold on,
So
everybody.
H2O.
You hold on, everybody. Am I the only one who can hear the echo or no?
No, you're not. I think
Okay, then why do
it
you
might
keep talking,
be-
brother? Matter, you gonna get it out. We ain't gonna stop you. You just going with it. It's like let the brother fix his echo, and then we can hear you very well, my brother. I'm talking to Matter. So 7, my friend, you got to fix your echo because it keeps coming in echoing. I know you probably are out, but if you could fix your echo or just mute out for us until you talk, and then when he talks, until he can fix it, let's mute out so he won't echo. All right. Thank you so much for letting me say that. Go ahead, Metter. I couldn't understand you, but you were flowing. Y'all, my puns are on fleek tonight. You were flowing when you're talking about that water. But go ahead, Metters. It's all in your mind.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Now we hear you without an echo.
So it's natural spring water, you
Okay.
know, with the natural, the livestock, everything in the waters, the fish, everything. Even the feces get broke down within to the algae.
Right.
So when the waters come through there and then it goes into the springs, those are the natural waters. You know, that's then your body takes it in and then it breaks it down to H2O because all the minerals is going through your body. So if you only just drink H2O, your body is not breaking anything down. It's just taking it in and it's going out.
Oh,
So
but
it's doing something for you, but it's not doing nothing for you
but
because it's not fresh. It's not fresh.
the water
It's
that
not.
you're talking about will still be tested as H2O. It wouldn't. There's no water source where you can go get water and it's going to be H3O2. They literally have to add the hydrogen
Right.
to
They
the
can, they
H2O
test
to
them.
make it H3O2.
Right.
Yes, they make them. Yes, I understand that. But then once you go to the structured water, as far as coconut water, and then you can go to pineapple, all of that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Your body gonna break it down, and it's gonna take everything it needs. It's gonna boost everything up because you know what I'm saying. Your body breaking it down and taking the minerals out of it.
Right, but I think because all I was saying was that you're saying like the natural spring water is H3O2, but that's not
Mhm.
true. It's literally H2O. The only way you're going to get H3O2 is they say through eating it if it's in fruit or fruit that's full of water.
Mhm.
Or like the article said where they have to literally force the hydrogen atoms into the H2O to make it H3O2. That's all I was saying.
That's not true.
But
Uh,
it's right here in the article because there if you go to any lake right now or spring or river or creek and you take the water out of it, there's
I'm talking about
nothing.
the pollution that's around us. It's going to affect the water.
But it's not going to change the chemical structure. It's not going to change
Yeah, it's going to
H3O2
still be
to
H2O.
H2O. Right.
Well,
Because
I
you
would.
can't, you have to have it modified. They add the gas, but I'm just learning about it right now. She,
And
Right.
watch when you dig in, and it goes to the algae, it goes to all the greenery that goes through the water to structure it and everything. Watch. It's that you reading just that they just putting it into it. They putting extra hydrogen in there to make it that way. Well, then that's the
But
case. You getting a hold on. If that's the case, you just getting a bottled water. You
because
getting a
if
bottle. You getting
you
a filtered. You getting a filtered bottled water that you can get from
I
the
just want
gas
to
station
add
from the
this from
dump.
what I've been reading while you guys are talking. So this is actually from the paper I've been reading. If you look, it's saying that it's anti cancer and that it's used that people are using it as a anti cancer treatment, but it's not confirmed. It is not confirmed medicine. I would never tell someone to just drink this water and not go get the treatments, that are there for cancer. This could be a preventative measure, but for me, I don't know. It looks good when I hear something about water, and I I want to take it, but I
so
need
because
more
here's the thing,
information.
right? So these molecules form in a certain pattern. that's the reason hydrogen and oxygen can come together to make water, right? Because they're only going to form in a certain way. Once you add two extra hydrogen atoms, the chemical structure becomes completely different. It's actually no longer liquid at that point, matter of fact.
What is it?
So,
You can't. It's not
So
liquid.
so
It's
so
gas.
what if we add the extra oxygen, the extra component from a plant?
huh?
What if we
But
add
see,
the extra component from a plant? Use the oxygen from the plant.
but
Uh,
that's not how molecules interact. Like they don't just randomly, you know what I'm saying, coalesce because a water passed through like some bushes or something. You understand? Like
that's what
you have to force a chemical reaction. It's not just gonna happen because you know what I'm
but
saying.
Jay, you got to also understand that's what algae is. It's just not just no ordinary plant because we
But
can take seaweed, we can take seaweed and algae, and we can live off just that, just drinking.
Well, let me say
right,
this.
but go ahead.
Excuse me. In the ocean, we have, um, like she's saying, you can't change the molecular structure of water because it goes through algae. But um, I mean, my wheels are just turning. I'm not right. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I mean, but
You can change it.
if you think of how life forms, let's go to the abyss, like the abyssal zone, right? And we talk about how we have that whole movement. Um, we're dealing with water, but we have different things in the ocean, at the bottom of the ocean. When it's moving a certain way,
Mhm.
we have the composition of now I'm going back to the beginning of time, right? Because people say primordial soup, but you get what I'm saying, like different types of structures, complex structures, before I even say
Mhm.
organisms, start to form.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
we still have, it's still water, it's still H2O. But maybe what he's saying is, because I see this being made by a person, not organically in
Mhm.
over in a creek. But I'm wondering, is there some way that the extra molecule, or that H2 molecule, is being added
Yes,
into the water? I'm asking.
through the
No,
algae. See,
So I'm
look, listen.
I'm saying,
no,
Okay,
that's not. That's not the thing.
for example, you know, Dr. Sebi, he put everybody on this,
no,
and
I'm not talking
no, no,
about
no,
Dr.
no,
Sebi. Please
no, no,
don't.
no, no.
No,
I'm
no,
just
this has
saying.
already gone too down to the where they're gonna try to use it against us. I don't
Okay, well,
can't talk about Dr. Sebi.
but
Yes, yes. Let's
look.
take back out, put
Okay,
the car in reverse, and
so
let's
I'm gonna
get
put
out
it in
there.
reverse. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's take the sunflower or the dandelion. Let's take the dandelion. You know, when you filter things through the dandelion, so it's if you can make salad and everything else off the dandelion,
That's not the same.
and it's good for your liver,
I thought
your
you were gonna
kidneys.
explain better. You have to hold on. I thought you
Oh
were
my
gonna
bad.
explain how the hydrogen extra molecule got in there, the gas.
Because
Because what I
it's
was
set.
trying to do is
Oh, okay,
I was trying to entertain your natural process by
okay,
saying
okay. All right.
possibly, possibly, could there be a process? You know how water can be oxygenated,
Yeah,
water, or carbonated.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually asking everybody, but what do you think
It's
about that?
the filter that the algae do.
No,
Like
no,
I'm
no,
talking about.
no.
Listen,
No,
when
but
the
you gotta
algae
tell me, how did it get hydrogenated? And you can't say algae, because that wouldn't be how is the algae hydrogenating? No, I could look it up, but just I want
it's through feces. It's through
okay.
the soil breaking. breaking like tree branches and fossils and carcasses down. It's like oil, basically. That's what
But you're still
algae
not
is.
explaining. You're not explaining how the extra hydrogen is being added to the water.
Because when it passes through, it's like a filter. Algae is like to us a
But
liver.
a filter takes things out. It doesn't
Yeah,
add.
and it adds in what it needs. It takes it. It takes out. It
So
takes out. It takes out all the bad stuff, and it pushes out all the good stuff.
yeah, that's not scientifically valid what you're saying because
Well,
you're
we
still
gotta.
not
We.
explaining.
I'm gonna have to come
No,
back
don't
with
come back.
with.
Let me get this for you real quick. Let's read this.
No.
Let's start somewhere. Let's start
I
somewhere.
don't come back. Yeah, because I gotta go at
No,
this
I didn't mean
point
don't come
too.
back. I didn't mean don't come back. I mean don't leave. Brother,
Oh,
I meant don't leave. I
No, I'm
told
talking
you.
about. I'm gonna
No,
have
I
to.
meant
No,
don't leave.
Freudian slip.
because I got it all. Everything lined up.
Matter,
You
look
know.
at this. Matter, I didn't mean don't come back like don't come back. I meant don't leave. And then come back. That's what, okay. So look, everybody. Okay, all of us. So H3O, also known as hydronium or hydronium, is a positively charged ion that forms when water molecules gain an extra hydrogen ion, proton, right? It is an
Hmm.
acidic version of water with a lower pH than regular H2O. For me, I'm kind of seeing where he's going with this. I'm not thinking it could be impossible because when you keep on saying about the feces, could that make it more acidic? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep reading. I'm gonna keep reading. The hydrogen ion donates a proton to the oxygen atom in the water molecule, resulting in the formation of hydronium ions. Some proponents of structured water believe that H3O's unique molecular arrangement could aid in the detoxification process. So right here, I'm gonna ask Doc Too Sweet, what do you think about that? So because he keeps saying about these decompose. For me, I'm thinking of decomposing different elements, and then he talks about feces. That would increase the acidic level of the water, right? In the people.
well, yeah. Well, that part, of course, it's making it more acidic. But here's the thing, right? So in basic chemistry, you learn that molecules only bond a certain way, right? Like it's like puzzle pieces. They're only going to fit. And it makes no sense to say that water, just because it passed through some algae, it somehow gained not only an extra hydrogen atom, but 2 extra oxygen atoms. Like that's not how molecules work.
But all they
So
got to do is gain once.
no, but you're the it's H3O2. It's not just H3O. We were talking about this whole time H3O2.
Well,
So
we
but
got it.
either way, even with the H3O, you still have to explain how it, because even what she just read right now, it says that it only gains that extra hydrogen atom through a very electrically charged process, right? That's how it gets
But
ionized.
it's first off, uh, I want you to look deep into this,
Oh,
and
wait. I
then
just figured it. I got to correct myself. Presence of decomposing matter lowers the pH water, making it more acidic. So yes, I don't have to correct myself. It is. So the presence of decomposing matter, and I assume also fecal matter, would increase the acid in the water, right? Making the water more acidic and lowering the pH of the water. This is because organic acids released during decomposition can dissociate into H2. Look at what we just found, y'all. We scientists in here for real. Let me drop. No. Look at Dr. Too Sweet's like, don't call yourself a scientist when you're doing this madness.
whole
I'm
nother
being
chemical.
funny. I'm being funny, but go ahead. Go ahead. And,
CO3, the H2CO3, you're adding carbon, and now you have
Uh,
three oxygen atoms. Like these
guess
are
guess where the car
let me hear
guess
the
where it
rest of what
comes from
she's
too
saying.
though.
Matter. Let her finish her whole statement because I want to
I'm
hear what she's
sorry.
saying about the carbon dioxide. Which, go ahead, Doc.
right. So, because looking at this H2CO3, that's a completely different structure. You have
This
to
is
look at like this one, like H2O means two hydrogen, one oxygen. Now in this one, you have two hydrogen, one carbon, and
Right.
three oxygen. It's a
Okay.
completely different structure.
Now hold that thought. Exactly. So if we're
mm-hmm.
looking at his, so then that leans back toward what Doc Too Sweet is saying, that it's not possible just to produce the H3O, because when you talk about the algae decomposing animals, you mentioned animals in the water, they animal
Rocks.
animal feces. There is there's that kind of carbon dioxide. So now we have, like she said, the H2CO3. So we're still scientists, but I'm just like excited that we're getting to the bottom of this. Because I
H2.
never
Let's
heard.
see. That's
No,
that's what I'm
but
talking about.
listen.
You go
So here's
after
the
you.
thing, right?
Go ahead.
So again, molecules can only take so many forms and
Right.
structure. And even if something is changing from one to another, there's a point where it's unstable, and that's where it goes. You know what I'm saying, from one form to another. So the H3O2 or the structured water that you're talking about, like it would never be like a permanent state,
Naturally, it would
right?
never
It would
Wait,
always
but then
have to be
be
the
a state
gas
of
added to it,
transformation,
right?
right?
and guess what happens? And guess
But
what
real quick,
happens when
Matter,
you
let me just
hold on,
ask
hold
this
on, hold on,
question.
hold on, Nepal,
No,
hold
you're
on.
gonna go
When
somewhere
you
else.
take it in,
Oh,
your
okay.
body turns it. Your body turns it into
I told you
H2O.
we're gonna do that. I
No,
knew you were gonna do that.
I'm
We
sorry.
can't call ourselves scientists anymore because you did that.
I'm
No,
sorry. I'm
no,
sorry.
because
I'm
your
gonna
body
wait.
actually breaks. No, your body
No.
actually
I
breaks.
wanted to ask a question before
Go
he
ahead.
asked
Go
that
ahead.
mess. Get that mess.
Hmm. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, not mess, but you took it off of. Now I forgot what I was.
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Because listen, if it's occurring naturally, like you say, it wouldn't just be H3O. That's all I was trying to say.
Right, and then also, dang, now I forgot what I was gonna say because our body breaks down everything to its most basic. So when you drink water, your body is actually separating the hydrogen from the oxygen. So for you to say that we take in H3O2, then it breaks it down to H2O, then it goes down to H and hydrogen, oxygen.
No,
That's literally
no,
not how it works.
no. It don't break it down. It don't break it down no more. That's why.
Yes, it
That's
has
why.
to
That's
break it
why I'm
down
talking
to
about. I'm talking
hydrogen and
about
oxygen.
I'm talking about when we break when we take in water, our
Right.
body breaks it down to where it can't. It's we suffering at times that we don't even know. Why you think all these cancerous cells and things like that you can get and everything? Because we really dehydrated and not even knowing.
No, I will not allow that.
All right.
We
Okay.
are being
I'm talking
scrutinized
about
from
you
the
get.
island. We can
I'm
only
talking
No,
go
about.
so
forget
far.
them. No, forget them. I'm here. I'm trying to
Look. Hey,
explain to
hey,
No.
him
Nepal,
what he's saying is
I'm not
not
Nepal,
worried.
correct.
No, you don't get
Nepal,
it. Doc, everybody
Nepal.
hold
You're a good researcher.
on.
You're a good
God damn, when
researcher.
I say hold on, Meta just keeps talking. It's weird.
I'm sorry.
Let me just do this. No, when I say that, yes, we have you here, of course. And but I'm saying we only have a certain level of pseudo that I can even take with to put my name on it. And when you
Yeah.
talk about water makes us thirsty, I can't let the pseudo island
And
come in and
that's
say that I
crazy.
was a part of that
That's
because water
crazy.
doesn't make us thirsty. That's what I'm
No,
trying.
that's crazy. We don't even you see now we speaking about the H of 30 and then we digging in just a little bit and finding out. But then let's dig a little deeper to see how our body take the regular H2O that we taking in.
No, but it doesn't. Water doesn't make our body thirsty. I
Oh
can't.
man, I'm talking about I'm talking about I've said that. I'm talking about literally
I will
PhD.
entertain the fact that
Oh,
the
okay,
paper that we were reading, where it says, "Let's do the
okay,
studies on does it help with the body."
okay. Yeah,
Okay, what? I'm not even finished.
I'm
Acidosis and when we work out, the how our muscles get fatigued and
right,
possibly could. I'll
right.
entertain that, but what we cannot do is say water will make us thirsty.
You'll be better off drinking coconut water working out than
That's because of electrolyte.
regular.
Yeah,
I'm
the
talking about
electrolyte,
regular H2O.
That's because of electrolytes.
No,
right?
okay.
Sakina's had her hand up for a minute. And Doc Too
Go
Sweet,
ahead,
when
Sakina.
I'm joking around saying, the island and we are
Yeah,
scientists because we're
Yeah.
over here doing the research instead of waiting for somebody to write it down and tell us. Because what he's talking about, I've never heard of before. You know about this more than I do, Doc Too Sweet. I've never
Yeah.
heard of people drinking water that has an extra hydrogen molecule. To me, off rip, it sounded crazy and dangerous and cancer causing. But then I started reading some more about it. I don't know. We need to talk about this some more. We do. We got to be careful though.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we are not pushing this as a health benefit. Metter's coming in trying to
Not
ruin
at
our
all.
bill and get the channel strike. Lord, we do not subscribe to this
no, I'm
type
not.
of
Man, I
stuff.
love the HLK. I love Side Nerdy Studios. I love it. I love y'all,
And
man. I
you
try.
mean the Rise channel? Hello.
Hello, and
Yeah,
yes, in the network. So
yeah.
listen, and the Visionaries.
I'm gonna have to subscribe to your channel because
Oh,
I
you're not
like
even
your
subscribed.
build.
We're this is called the
Not you
Visionaries.
own the channel and you're not.
It's all
Yeah,
right because he's tripping. I just thought about that. We got to be careful with medical misinformation. It's very serious. So we do not
right.
subscribe to this. I might have to go over this and see because this stuff right here. Oh damn! I didn't even remember this
But
stuff right
hey,
here
look,
is not. We do not push this.
We're not
We're
giving medical
researching
advice.
it.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
researching
Nepal,
it.
when it break it down to you, when it breaks it down to you, I want you like next time I come on, hey Meter, you was on point, and I'm gonna
Meter,
say thank you.
this is what Meter drinks. He also eats plastic sandwiches. And no, I'm just kidding. So anyway, let's move on
Like, where
to.
do you even get those at?
I know, right? I wanted some delicious hydrogen 3. Oh, I'm so
Uh-uh.
thirsty. This regular
No.
water ain't doing nothing for me. What the heck? I need to drink something that I've never
But
known. No,
hey,
do not drink
would you
hydrogen 3. I want to say this.
hey,
No,
do you know what's
Do not
crazy?
drink hydrogen 3O. Do not
no.
drink it. Do not drink it with
Do you know what's crazy and really
She's been waiting a
like
long time.
it's crazy is
Sakina, you
that
gotta let Sakina talk.
white supremacy is in everything.
No, no, no. You ain't doing
No,
that. Stop.
no, I'm not doing it. I'm not
Leave
doing
us
that. That's
alone,
why
Stacy.
I ain't say the
You
whole
coming in to
thing.
sandbag our shit.
No, I didn't say the same. I didn't say the whole thing. I just
Just
said
brother, let it
it's
go.
okay. I'm going.
Looks
I'm
like
letting it
it
go.
looks like another love H3O. Did he
Yeah.
leave?
Exactly.
Okay,
The
No,
only
this
thing
is
I wanted to add to that whole
that
thing was one more again
we
was that again this was champagne.
Mm-hmm.
Hydrogen water was this meta is peeing champagne, y'all, and y'all be careful and don't follow that yellow brick road because next thing you know
Sakina.
y'all will be peeing crystals and
One fish, two fish. No.
shooting crystals at people trying to do things the wrong way. So, if you don't
man.
see champagne, be careful with that hydrogen water because it's got to be wonderful. It's
Hmm.
Yeah,
got to
I
and again,
eh,
he ain't telling y'all that he don't eat certain acidic foods because it'll tear his stomach up. And he can't, it's a lot to go with that he not telling. because of that
Yes.
water, you know. But I
Hey,
like
y'all gotta,
I like
y'all
my
gotta.
water from the
I
mountain.
like Poland
You
Springs.
see what
Yes,
I'm
thank you,
saying? There
ma'am.
you go. You know,
I
Well,
got
hey, well,
Eternal,
but I don't
I
blame
have
Aquapana.
I
I
don't blame them. I'm bougie
I'm
rich.
drinking Eternal too. It's
You
in
see what I'm
and
saying? Because
for
I used to like water with silicas and stuff in it. But when I found out they were bottom feeders, I don't like doodle eaters, you know. But since
no,
we were
hey,
talking
oh
about
man,
that,
no,
Not doodle
hey,
either.
you know
please
what's,
stop.
I
what's
was
nice
listening for
though?
a minute, Matter. Don't
No,
get
you
me
know what's
wrong,
nice
Matter,
because
Matter.
you
please
can
I
put
was
the,
stop.
you can put
rich,
lemon,
but let me
you
tell
can
you
put lemon.
shut up.
Matter, what is
No,
wrong with
because we
you?
was kind of talking about the poo. But when he
Oh,
threw me
No,
off
no,
because
I
my
said let
daughter
her talk.
said, listen to me. My daughter said, Mom, is summer coming? And she said, I want to take you and we're gonna go to the pools this summer. And I said, I want to go to the high pools. And then she said, well, no, they went up $15 more. And I'm like, so? She said, well, we're gonna go to the ones outside because they cheaper. And I said, you know, I'm scared of Zappy, right? And she said, well, you got to worry about that when they call you in, you know. And I said, well, then I'll be leaving. Because, you know, when they start calling you to get out the pool so they can check it and refilter and clean it, that means that somebody then already did Zappy. And I'm not getting back in. So I'd rather go to the other pools where the hot pools at, because I get too cold to be in there, and I'm scared of Zappy. I don't want to be in the public pool. So Meta was talking
You
about
put that.
the spring waters, and y'all and all in Zappy and Zapoo, and you want to be playing around talking about H3O. Yeah. Don't mess around with that, because it's all kind of stuff in there, and you eating sea roaches and you know all kind of carrying on. Meta, look, he just in touch with the nature of things. He love nature. He want to eat.
I do too, but
Listen to this.
Come on in.
Sarah
I'm
said,
with you. I'm with you. But so much so, come on in.
it's getting late. Y'all not
yeah, we're
talking.
getting ready.
okay.
I was gonna say we're getting ready to close down. I know Sakina was waiting a while, so I didn't want to. I wanted to let her
But
finish.
again, this was a wonderful show.
Down.
I just want to close
Can
with
I,
that. This was so
can I
awesome.
say one thing added on to that?
No.
It's the freezing of the water and
We're just
warming
gonna do
up of
it
the
anyway,
water from
though,
the
huh?
sun.
As if I can't
Because
move
you
on.
know the water.
Oh my God! Please stop.
I left my information in the back.
Listen, I want to
My
just end it
information
with
in
this.
the back.
Sakina, talk about the expensive tissue hypothesis and what your take is on it as you close out, and then we'll see everybody tomorrow because we're getting ready to go in about Dr. Grayson, aren't we?
Yes.
We have a special for y'all tomorrow.
Oh,
Sakina, and go ahead. So what did you close out? Let's take it full circle. I know we went into like a little bit nutty professor stuff, but no, I'm joking around. But we are very scientific over here. But we're not rigid, and we have our own thoughts. And we have people come in and tell us about special waters and all the other stuff.
Magic waters.
He's burning his Nag Champa. Go ahead, Sakina. What did you think about this whole build about the expensive tissue hypothesis?
so overall, you know,
yes,
to say that you eat meat. Well, I know that at one point they said that bacon was all this, and now bacon makes you a little smarter, and it wasn't all everything that they said it cracked up to be in the beginning, because now it builds something in the brain and make you a little smarter. Eating bacon, especially in the beginning of the day, it does more for you. It gives it more. They give it more feedback positive than they did before. So much so that they had a whole year of bacon on this, bacon on that, bacon wrapped on this, bacon wrapped on that, and too much so it was baconly gross. I'm not just saying that because I was a vegan, but I'm just being honest. So to say that they added more meat to take away the bread because they added more vegetables on the plate at one time, maybe so. I'm not sure if that's just to sell more meat or to say for brain food, right? To take the sugar off and to add something else on. So it's, to me, it's not what they always say, is what they don't say. So I'm not sure, because they say that the brain got bigger for the stomach or the gut, then that's, to me, I'm still saying that that's saying somebody's gut is full of something else. So,
Hey,
anyway,
thank
this
you.
was a real good conversation, and I
You didn't
appreciate
let
it
me
being
drop your
on
bomb.
here. Right? I
You know we
appreciate
need
the
to.
knowledge and explanations and exploring. Thank
And
you
let
so
me
much
see
for
this
having me.
beautiful queen acting up in here, trying to push veganism. Oh, freak show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nah,
And
I
love
need
to.
a turkey burger every now and then.
A turkey burger is good for your brain. She tried to play us on the bacon. I caught that
Yeah.
play for
Did you know the
okay.
No, that was
people? Did y'all
a
know?
couple years ago. Everything bacon, because they said bacon was more for the
Bacon
knowledge.
is toxic. Bacon causes cancer. So I'm talking
No,
about
Yeah, it's so bad.
So
But
let's go to
did
Sister
you know turkey has a chemical called tryptophan, which
Tryptophan.
makes you sleepy?
It makes
Yes,
you right.
Yeah,
that's why after
that's what the turkey do.
Thanksgiving and the holidays, everybody need a nap after they cut into that turkey.
And
Nah,
you
but
can you believe they call it negritis? Go ahead and let us know what your take is on the build.
oh yeah, no, this was great. It is a very interesting hypothesis. As we all know with science, everything starts with a hypothesis. It starts with an idea. We just need more information. There needs to be more testing. I'm hoping that they better incorporate the heart into this relationship with the brain and the gut, because we know there's a third brain. So are they intentionally leaving out the heart, or are they just not looking at that in a sense? Because again, we know about the heart having the neural pathways like the brain. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more research being done on this, more discussions about it, and maybe it can answer some questions for us.
And I do want to
Thanks for
add
the
this.
build.
Thank you, Dr. Sweet. I do want to make this clear. I'm joking around saying, "No, we're all scientists," and people say, "Well, you could call yourself scientist," but Dr. Sweet is a truly a scientist. I'm more of a philosopher, but I love science, and I like to get in where I fit in. So when the scientists are up here, I'm gonna latch my little anchor to the boat and float along with my philosophy. And I'm being serious. I sound like I'm joking. I like to have a
But isn't everything philosophy when you really think about it? The people who had these scientific discoveries, who were scientific innovators, they had to ponder certain things to get to where they were. So
right.
don't you know what I'm saying, diminish the philosophy part. Science is very important. Yes, we need it. It helps us to verify things, improve things. It gives us a systematic way of looking at the world around us, but it is not the end all be all. We live in a dualistic universe, right? So you're gonna need a little bit of both. You can't just have one and not look at the other. You have to be honest and consider both sides. So philosophers and scientists are very much needed.
At this, when you have philosophers and scientists together on a panel, on a build, it's like two great tastes in one candy bar. I know I'm being funny, but I got to make the people laugh with the truth. You got to have it all together. You said duality, and then it all comes into one, because when we talked about is we disconnected science from philosophy, we thought, right? And look, it came full circle, and here we are coming back together
As it
again.
always does.
Because we're not afraid, right, to think philosophically and scientifically.
We don't practice scientism.
Oh, why are you? You know what? You can't. Let me get her out there.
Yeah, it's past my bedtime. I'll say anything at this point.
No, we don't practice scientism. We don't go rub the stone of the great stone of Healy GPT. Oh, GPT, tell me where I can find the answers to these questions about
You
consciousness.
just look for me.
I want to let you know We will find out what's going on in the brain. We don't care about anything else. We don't even need a body. We just need
Your accent is killing me.
we just need a big old head. All right. Thank you so much to Doc Too Sweet. I'm going to let our brother Metter, who's been waiting patiently, don't come in here talking about no crazy ass H3O because I had to put up the. It was nice to have you here. Go ahead, brother.
It's different. I'm telling you, it's different. It's
Just
a lot.
tell us what you think about the bill, though, my friend.
The bill was cold. The bill was cold blooded because it captured your mind and it made you think like what's going on, and then you add it on, and hey, all you right brain sisters on this panel, y'all don't let a brother bleed at all, but for the most part, I just love the build, and Nepal, like I say, it's always been a great the sisters that's on here, y'all great minds. Right brain sisters. When you're on a panel with all right brain sisters, it's gonna
we're
be
both
hard.
sides. We're not just right brain.
No. Ooh.
Right brain would be artistic, though. We're both. We're
logical. Man, Nepal, you gotta you
start
know
talking
what?
about my
Stop.
He's like, just let me live, dang.
First off, Metter, you talking about our cemetery Matisalo lobe and our particimal balagale. When I have the garilo in between those two, bringing
stop.
So stop it. Don't be talking about our particimal rollavon lobe.
Knick-knack, paddywhack.
The knick-knack. The knick-knack paddywhack region. That's where all my memories.
Nepal. I thought I was supposed to say something.
I'm not done. In my parietal, what is this? My frontal lace front. My lace front lobe.
See, but then guess what? That's one more thing. See, Nepal, you're a good researcher, right? Yeah. You're a good researcher, and I respect you. Like, look, research on that, and just say,
Metter, are you selling it or something, like, bro?
No, I'm just saying though.
No, we're good on that because really the channel is. I don't want to sound.
Yeah, research on the right women.
I will.
Right brain.
No. Next time we
Nathalie.
Go read up on the front.
Nathalie,
I'm gonna have to. I don't like meeting you, but I'm not gonna mute you. Listen, Metter. I want to ask you guys this. I just thought of something. Look how deep it is. And now see, this is the kind of pseudo we do. We don't be talking about H3O. This is the good pseudo. Because you remember we're pseudos. They want to call pseudos. Okay, I'm a pseudo. Frontal is an actual hair piece that Black women wear. And our prefrontal cortex, oh shit. Let me give myself
the right brain. You sit on the right hand. You sit on the.
How to get off right here? This is my stop.
You sit on the right hand of. You sit on the right hand of God.
Oh.
You're getting Metter. Thank you, please. We're gonna close it. Bye, Metter. You need to go drink some water that has an extra molecule, because I don't want to keep saying it because I don't want the YouTube to be like, yeah, they was promoting it. Okay, what I was trying to say is it's deep that I've seen stuff like that with Black women products, though. I have. Did they name it a frontal on purpose? I know it's the front for y'all. Just stick with me. The frontal and your prefrontal cortex. Were we going on that level? No, Doc. See, that's why I need a scientist here.
I don't know. I'm like,
don't pull me back down.
I get it.
No, don't stay there because you have the cosmos and then you have cosmetics.
Come on, Sakina.
Right?
Here you go. Here
you go. Cosmos and you have cosmetics. You know we do as above.
Oh God. Right?
right? So
Damn.
oh yeah,
Yes, baby, on the closeout,
Lord,
the cosmos and the cosmetics.
Y'all gotta let me off. This is my
I know,
stop.
no, I'm just kidding. We don't want to scare. We don't want to scare the scientists away. Come on,
Alright.
we're just joking around. I'm not serious.
No,
I mean,
I know.
you know, my sister Sakina is serious though. She cold with it. Don't play. But
No, I know. Oh,
let me-
I
I'll
can't
let
even
her
hold
say a
you right
couple
now.
more. I want to hear a couple more of her
don't forget
things.
to go in the
Go
back
ahead.
of that.
Go ahead, Sakina. Let me let you rock. Let me let you rock out. Break it down.
I ain't finna rock out. I'm finna clock out.
No.
Hey, I know that's right. High five.
How old are you?
Peace to the chat. I love y'all much. And listen,
Hey, this was so fun. Thank you,
I might be
Nepal.
late
Thank you,
tomorrow though,
Sister
because I got a nail
Sakina.
appointment.
Thank you
I
for
know
being.
that's right. I just had my fresh shirt today. I know that's
Well,
right.
let's see your nails. Let me see how both of you hold your
Well,
nails.
they're just white,
Mine is
and I
white.
got a little bit of glitter. I don't know if you can see the
No, I'm
glitter.
getting mine done tomorrow.
Mine are
Right.
just wah wah
That's how
wah.
mine look.
But I
That's
use
okay.
lotion on my hands though.
So my grandson.
Yeah, I'm like, at least you moisturize. That's important. I
And
might
I
need
do
a
my
little
little. I have my
bit.
manicure. It's just.
No,
plain.
I don't have none of that. I don't have none of that.
Isn't
That's
Sakina
okay.
beautiful? Both of you guys are so gorgeous. Let me put
I
you
don't
up
have none of that.
on the big
I'm
screen.
trying to figure out if I'm gonna get my
That's
hair
the key.
done.
I know that's right. Hey, girl.
Right.
Hey.
But
Hey, girl, can you believe she just turned 55?
no,
Not me. Hold on.
no,
Not
listen.
stop it. Not you.
You had me up on the screen. I'm like,
I'm 59. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're
no.
all right, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Who did we lose? We lost 50 is a perfect number.
Me
Thank
too.
you so much, y'all. We great build. Oh,
I hope I look that good.
look at my sister H.
I appreciate
H.
you.
Millette is saying,
Aw.
okay, hit the end stream. No. You need to hit that end stream. Okay, I'm gonna hit the end stream, but I'm gonna close out with this song.
Yes.
And thank you. I want to say thank you, Doc, because I know you have a little one. Mine
Oh,
are
she said, you taking too long. I'm about to go tuck myself in.
oh no, she's not. Don't do that.
She did. She really
You need to
did.
go
And
in the
she
bed and
will.
read the book to her. Like I
It's
used to.
okay.
Okay, I'm gonna close out with this song. Much love. We'll see you tomorrow. Much love to my sisters, to the audience, to the brothers who joined, and to the sisters who joined. Honey, who else joined? Oh, who else joined besides her? Sister.
Keon. 7. And meet a Metter.
Let's do this. Here it is. And Metter, the trying to get us in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble for that.
No, you're not. You put the disclaimer.
The house of consciousness on Black News 102. You can't front, you know you grew. Sign at the studio.
No, I don't want to do that. Let me press it. No. You make no. I do not. That was
no.
Island, and she really was like, I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're not doing nothing. You're about
like,
to.
I was just kidding. No, I
know
could really dance.
No, we could really.
Right.
Or inspiration.
Right.
All right, so
Right.
I'm going to be serious. I don't want to play that one. I love that one. Name a song quickly. What HOK song you want me to play? Anybody?
I don't know.
Oh.
I got to play the one.
Play a good one.
The one I play all the time.
Play it.
Frankie and the trendsetter.
You did it again, man.
HOK Field Marshal, you know?
Afro Nation.
None of them can but a dance on the top.
Revelation, take the top.
Violate the general.
Was that Tom Paul?
Blood clot funeral home.
No, it's not.
Jabari got the crown.
She got a whole
we're sending them home. Regina Diali with a Cuban and a galley. Send you back on Nile Valley with a shot in your toe intellectually. How click the link if your scholarship sloppy? More just want make you cry with the truth. No lie, my youth, him a really scored on. 21 gun salute for commission. Not a brother, a hustle, a move like all left found the black woman not all like Dulce and the Yana past sister freedom. I the whole panel know what time for Bible thumping. The minute them see me come, revelation set. Frankie are the trendsetter. None of them can bother dance on it. None of them can bother dance on it. Them got a podcast but saw better.
Coast to coast, we be banging. Bringing all this knowledge, we be slanging. In the HOK, we don't do no entertaining.
Real quick, do you have a channel? Tara wants to know.
I saw that and I do not. So find me here, Starnetter Studios, HOK. But I will get a channel.
Visionaries.
Yeah. Yeah, Napago help me get a channel or something.
Yeah, we're gonna build your channel up. Listen, we gotta talk. Shout out my sister Sakina Ross. Shout out your channel, Sakina.
Smoking Conversations with Sakina Ra.
That's
Conversations with Gemini.
Gemini the goddess. Oh, shout out to Gemini.
Yes.
Oh Lord,
yes, we missed you, girl. We missed you.
We will see her tomorrow because we got a doozy for us tomorrow. I'm not gonna say anything else. Oh, shout out to Afu Nation. This playing right here, Doc, is the sister. Remember Lady Kier? She came up. The sister had the glasses on when we were talking. When we did the first visionary thing. This is her and her husband Devin. They are amazing music team. And then this is one of the HOK brothers, Revelation X. They are fire. I love it. I always play this.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
What the niggas just a layman. Better get on one accord. The future can be yours. Ancestors push you more. We gotta go explore the sciences and math. The future's based on class. You about to catch my wrath. We turning up this track.
In the dark spots of the light.
The dark heart still fight. We gotta make this right. Talk right now. We learn how to stand up and stand proud. No man down. We fam now. House of the Cox, my clan now.
Frankie and the trendsetter. None of them can mother dance on it. None of them can mother dance on it. Them got a podcast, but far better.
When I look at you niggas, I see what I'm not. Go take him, a little bit of her, mix it with them, I put them in a pot. You still can't get none like me. It might sound the same, but it's unlikely. One white tee, if I lift it up, you niggas gonna see what it come might be. I thought I told ya. Affirmation, revelation, we some soldiers. Starnetter put this team together, now it's over. We got the weight of the world up on my shoulder. When you get conscious information, hearts turn colder. Now look at these trappers who rapping the same, so stuck in their lane, systemically, chemically. I'm thinking something is wrong with their brain. As long as they paid and flying the chain, I got nothing to say. They in love with the gang. I traded my gang for change, and now that I changed a few things, still say the same.
Frankie and the trendsetter. None of them can mother dance on it. None of them can mother dance on it. Them got a podcast, but far better.
That's what it do. I'm
I was gonna do this and then say, "Oh no, Pa, she threw up the sixes. Lord have mercy." Oh, peace, everybody.